First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for upNXT. You found us at postwrestling.com, whatever podcast app you're using right now. But it's also Tuesday past 10 o'clock, which means
we are live on youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
Hello, all the postmarks out there worldwide, and more importantly, on Tuesdays. Hello to the NXT friends. All the NXT friends through the thick and thin, through the paint splatter, the black and gold, and to whatever era we are in right now. We're still here, and we thank you for joining us wherever you may be. But we will be.
We do need a term for this era. I mean, it's kind of the. I don't want to use the term. I don't want to use the term Forbidden Door, but it's kind of that era, right? You have all the crossover with LFG, Evolve, TNA, AAA, all of that. So whatever words we use to describe that.
I have a few words to describe this era.
Oh, good. We're going to talk about it for about 2 hours tonight. So
we're going to use those words.
Few words. Yeah.
We have more than a few words we're going to use about this episode of NXT and the era of NXT. We're in the rebranding. We've said it the last few weeks, you know, sometimes your team, they do really well and they get drafted to better teams with more money. And then you're in the regrouping phase. Just sometimes when your team loses players, they usually get some in return, but works differently this way. But we're in the rebuilding era of NXTs. There's pluses, there's negatives. We're going to talk all about it. But yes, the wrestling never stops. It felt like just yesterday was the Royal Rumble. We are on the road to WrestleMania and possibly the road to Stand and Deliver. Just they haven't announced it yet. But we have an announcement tonight.
Or did we? Like this
I can't hear you now.
Hello?
Oh, why can't I hear you?
Oh, chat room. Can you hear me? I'm seeing. Have you knocked your mic?
I cannot hear I cannot hear you now.
I'm seeing sound on my end. Can someone confirm?
I don't know. I can't hear you.
Okay. Hello. Okay, they hear me.
There we go.
You can hear me? Okay. All right. Good start. Yeah. Or did they announce anything tonight? Right. They kind of do it. Oh, you still can't?
Can't when I plug my headphones in all of a sudden. You when you were all of a sudden you yelled and then I went and now I can't hear you.
What's happening now?
I don't know. I have no headphones on now, so let's see how that plays out with the live recording.
Okay, yeah, let's just do it like that. Let us know. Chat room, you're our eyes and ears tonight. Let us know if there's any sort of feedback from Braden talking. Or anything, but let's carry on. Vengeance Day kind of being announced today. NXT have this habit of kind of just having someone like a superstar come out and say, and I'll see you on March 7th at Vengeance Day, having not announced the show or shown a graphic or anything. It's as if like, come on guys, didn't you know? Didn't you know we're doing Vengeance Day on March 7th? It's a very weird way of doing it, and I still don't think we necessarily saw a like graphic or anything. I'm assuming it's at the PC, seeing that they haven't announced a place for it. But
it felt like very stereotypical, almost too on the nose when a wrestler like who talks like this in person. When you know what, Ricky, or I think it was maybe the other way around. I challenge you on March 7th for Vengeance Day. It's like, oh wait. March 7th is Vengeance Day? Oh, yeah. I guess. Yeah.
No, wait. It's like, oh, you didn't know?
I guess it is Vengeance Day. on March 7th. So there you go. Valentine's Day was last weekend, but every day could be Vengeance Day, depending on who you ask. So it is a Saturday PLE, March 7th, Vengeance Day. At this moment in time, we're recording this literally after NXT. I'm going to assume this is at the Performance Center. They have announced the NXT in Houston show. Now, I'm not sure that is the same show. I think that's later in March.
That's on a Tuesday the 17th, I believe.
Yeah. So we have a few next week is supposed to be in Georgia, and that was quietly canceled. Blame parking lots. NXT's one fault, parking lots.
Mm-hmm.
Because of this venue in Georgia claiming that their parking lot is the reason they can't do this event next week. So NXT has a big show next week, but it will be from the Performance Center. But yeah, announcing Vengeance Day with little knowledge at this moment, just haven't necessarily dived too into it, but it was very funny hearing someone say, and I'll beat you on March 7th at Vengeance Day. Okay. I get, yep.
This isn't the first time though, is it? They do this. It's so weird. It's such a weird way to do it. So I wonder when this all came together, but yes, still no word on Stand and Deliver. We assume it's happening, but who knows? Maybe that'll be at the PC as well.
Like in Vegas, you could easily do it at a smaller little venue. I just don't think the T-Mobile will be something big.
Certainly you could. You would have just thought you'd have announced something by now and try to start shifting those tickets.
Yeah. I mean, WrestleMania has already got the 25% off deal, the buy one, get one. So when is the NXT going to be announced? I think we're one step closer with this Vengeance Day thing being announced, but I don't know. If I was them, I would definitely still obviously have Stand and Deliver be in Vegas, but maybe the Palms where we've seen other shows like AEW recently or smaller, right? But
I mean, you would hope they've booked somewhere, but obviously with all the indies running as well, like a lot of venues would have been taken up. Not that I doubt WWE would have a problem finding somewhere, but it is curious because I mean, in the past they've done packages for sort of NXT Raw and SmackDown and things like that. So it is curious. It does seem late this year with no announcement.
Okay, so then NXT should join forces with the Collective and just do
sure. Why not
deliver that Saturday? Right into that slot. But it could be Gringos Lucha before or after, and then goes into NXT. And
I mean, we know Stephanie McMahon's a fan of GCW, so maybe Sean is as well.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. So maybe that's something they could do. I mean, that's the draw for WrestleMania at this point in time. February 17th. Okay, Roman Punk. Sure, that's a big match for some people, but really, Sandman versus the Invisible Man is gotta be one of the biggest dream matches I could even put down. I could never have come up with this match, and it sounds wonderful. So I'm actually, that sounds like it's a hoot, and that will be the one that people will be buzzing about.
There's one fantastic worker in that match, and it's not the Sandman.
You think the Invisible Man's going to do acid before this match?
Probably, yeah.
That sounds incredible. So hats off to them. I'm sure that's going to be real fun. But yeah, like seeing not NXT NXT, we were just joking, like, hey, it's not in the biggest position right now. It's kind of the talent, the roster's been rated and all this kind of stuff. So it's not the most talked about show right now. It's not the most hyped up. So I can't see them doing an actual arena for this Stand and Deliver show. So I mean, the one they are announcing for Houston, and they do these little music theaters and stuff like that, and that's definitely their forte right now, and totally okay. But again, rebuilding period, it's going to take time. So I think they're trying to figure that out. But hey, we got a Vengeance Day. We will be doing a show for that in the next few weeks. But is it weird? Like Vengeance Day, they've tied it to Valentine's Day, and now it's just completely a month off.
They should just call it Vengeance.
Just Vengeance.
Like, it used to be, yeah. Vengeance Day has a weird ring to it anyway, but at least when you put it around February 14th, you go, oh, I see what you're doing there.
Yeah.
So just call it Vengeance. But I guess they've got the NXT branding now.
What about Spring Breaking?
True.
It's literally going to be in March, like Spring Break.
Don't they normally do Spring Breaking after Stand and Deliver?
They just spring break in October, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. they're all over the place with these theme things. Although what AEW did the one beach thing with Ricky on
Cleveland
on the ice, so that was good. Yeah, I guess we'll see with Stand and Deliver, but it is Stand and Deliver season. But really, it's Vengeance Day, and then we have a Roadblock, and then
Roadblock is announced as well. Is that the Houston show?
I think that was New York. MSG.
Oh, right. Yes, they
theater.
announced MSG the theater. Right.
Yeah. So there's some stuff happening in 2026 with some NXT. They're coming to a town near you. They're doing a lot of live shows and getting those rounds in. So if you are a true NXT diehard, you can find it. You can go out there and get some NXT into your life. We never stop watching the wrestling, because not just only on Tuesdays, but Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, about any day that ends in Y, there's wrestling on. And with WrestleMania season and Raw and everything, catching up on everything, trying to see what's happening, where are we going towards Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania.
Yeah, I thought I watched Raw last night, and there was quite a lot I found quite interesting about it. And I'd maybe like to start with the thing that I enjoyed the most, which was the Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan interview with Stephanie interrupting the interview and just going off in Spanish at her. And I thought this was fantastic. I thought it was really interesting. I liked Dom kind of quietly translating it for Liv, where we can't necessarily hear and understand everything, but Liv breaking into tears after, like, for me, this really worked. Now, I'm sure, we're only 2 weeks since the Super Bowl and Bad Bunny and the controversy around someone singing in Spanish at a halftime show. I haven't really checked the discourse, but I'm sure there's some of that out there. But for me, I liked that it wasn't translated. I liked that it ends and I'm like, whoa, what did she say? Why is Liv crying? What was that? And then making me go and like search for translations and things. And then Michael Cole announcing later in the night that the translated version is now up. I thought it was really smart, because like for me as a viewer, it kind of put you in the shoes of Liv Morgan a little bit, where like, what the fuck is she saying? I thought it was really effective. I think it's the best Stephanie's come across on the main roster so far. And I think it's actually really heated up this match that I think 2 weeks ago, I was kind of cold on the idea of these two going towards WrestleMania. And it's definitely added some interest, and using Dom as this, who's a very over character, as this translator in the feud, I think is working quite nicely.
It's definitely a contrast where he is the one who's translating for her, and he's like, I don't want to say these things, and she's not saying truthful things, she's lying, she's wrong, but she's saying this. It almost teases like, okay, the Judgment Day stuff has definitely run its course, but it's been proven successful with a lot of the characters that it's involved. I mean, predominantly Dom and Liv. This match still has so much long to go. I think I agree that Stephanie has been kind of like stagnant or stale since winning the title, that it's been like nothing really too special, where finally you got to see some, like, I don't know, like passion, some
fire,
like something actually of like, I don't know, something that actually has some substance to it. So it definitely is the best that she's felt. Like, I'm sick and tired of this Liv Morgan Judgment Day BS kind of stuff. So I did like it. The one thing, like you said, it almost baby faces Liv, because
it does, which I wonder if that is a deliberate choice, whether they want to add a bit of an edge to Stephanie, who, like, so far, look, Stephanie Vaquer is fantastic, and we all know that, but she's kind of been reduced to the devil's kiss, right? Yeah. Like, that's kind of been her role, and I think this broke her out of that. Now, I think Judgment Day is coming to an end. I think they're definitely setting up stuff with Finn leaving the group. And are they maybe toying with the idea of Liv becoming a babyface? Maybe not in the build to WrestleMania, but maybe having Stephanie beat her at WrestleMania, and then Liv has that crisis of confidence, and those words have been haunting her ever since this segment, where she's starting to think, well, maybe she was right. Maybe I have just been handed these opportunities and not earned these spots that I've been getting.
Like, her character basically was saying, you were just handed these opportunities, and we're like, I've been wrestling. I've been actually like grinding to get here. I know I've been seeing some stuff today. Stephanie said that there wasn't any wrestling. There's no wrestling in Chile. Many people from Chile quick to be like, yo, what the fuck, dude? So she's corrected that, being like, okay, well, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
like name some
hyperbole is okay in wrestling sometimes, you know.
Like, name your other favorite superstar from Chile. It's like, okay, all right, maybe she's she's kind of on something there, but I don't know. I think post Chamber, I mean, this clearly should be the matchup, obviously, that we're going towards, especially after this. But it is funny, kind of baby facing Liv with this, where the one thing I wish she said was like, you've been given this opportunity. I've been wrestling all these years while you were waitressing at Hooters, but I'm sure that's still to come in some of the promos leading up to this. But yeah, I'd say it was fine. Like, I don't think it's necessarily like, oh my God, I cannot wait to see this match, but it's still so early before this. So definitely a good first step.
Yeah, and it's just one of those things I think just feels so fresh to see on WWE TV. It wasn't like just a line in Spanish. It was a full-blown promo. And look, we've all got these now. You know, we've all got phones. We can all Google Translate stuff. We can find out what it is. And I don't see there being a hang-up. Like, so many people, I'm just thinking, like, when you see people go, oh, well, I didn't understand it. It's these same nerds are the ones that watch a Avengers trailer and break down every single frame of it, of what it could mean. You can run a promo through Google Translate and see what she's saying. But I did find it funny how we kind of went from this scene to Asuka, Io, and Kairi backstage, all yelling at each other in Japanese or broken English, and then cuts to El Grande Americano with Rayo and Bravo speaking terrible Spanish in the ring. And I was like, oh, it's just the international hour on Raw. We used to have we had the War Zone, we had Raw Underground, and now we've got just a dedicated hour to wrestling in a foreign language.
It's like a League of Nations.
Yeah,
right, that was something else. Yeah, I like that 100%. It's just funny that in one segment you have Stephanie Vaquer yelling in Spanish, and then in another segment you have a guy being like, yeah, I used to speak Spanish, but my Spanish no bueno. Let me speak in English again, because that's the only language I can speak on. And somehow he's the good guy, or is he the bad guy, depending on what show?
Well, he's the good guy in America because he actually speaks American,
right? Yeah.
Whereas in Mexico, it's the other way around.
So, yeah, the AI video that was hilarious. Like, okay, AI is bad, and I hate sloppy shit. Like, I hate all this stuff. In fact, the more people send me AI shit, like, I hate it. I cannot stand it. But this guy's a heel character, so was clearly using AI before. So it's like wrestling. It's like, is it okay? And then he cuts the promo in Spanish. That's clearly not him talking. And then, like, pretty much right away, the guy he's feuding with, who's pretending to be him, who can speak fluent Spanish, or at least pretty better than him, cuts a promo being like, yo, you're using AI. That's fake. It's like, what are we doing? Back in the day, wrestlers used to get mad because they didn't get the shampoo commercial, or they spilled coffee on each other. Now there's just layers and levels.
I mean, there's coffee with both of them, right?
Yeah, true. I feel like the whole AI speaking thing was like, oh my God, here we go. But it's ridiculous. This has to lead to that.
As you said, it kind of works because it's actually story. It's Chad Gable, the character, using AI to mask the fact that he doesn't speak Spanish, rather than what's his name, the producer guy there, like worked in TNA. What's his name? Oh crap, blanking on his name there, but he's a good dude. That guy, rather than like a producer working at WWE kind of like the Tatum Paxley thing last week, where I'm just going to use AI to make this video. I think the character actually using it is somewhat clever and kind of funny.
I mean, that's the workaround that they're going to give you, right? I mean, now I don't know if we talked about it briefly, but what about that AI image of Dom wearing the AEW championship?
Oh yeah, ridiculous.
Isn't that brutal?
Yeah, that's that is terrible. That is just, you know, I use it for like when we're doing the Champ is Here, because there's a lot of stuff to sift through to find out what the John Cena segments are.
Right.
So I find old reviews of the specific Raw or SmackDown episodes and copy and paste them into AI to just sift through. And I'm like, tell me everything that's John Cena in this. So I don't need to read like 3-page reviews of every single Raw. But then I double check to make sure it's not making shit up. Because sometimes it's just made stuff up where I'm like, I don't think that happened. Let me double check that. And for like a company like WWE to put that out there without checking that there are no errors. Okay, Dom maybe having 6 fingers is one thing, but wearing the AEW World Championship is quite the other. I
feel the ick when someone's like, hey, check out this new AI video of me like riding a bike on the moon. I'm like, go outside, go ride a bike for real. Like, I don't know. It's so irritating. Am I getting old? I just don't like this. Like, it's one thing to ask ChatGPT for like, you know, help on a recipe, or hey, where do I find this, or hours of, I don't know, things like that are actual helpful. But to make stupid AI videos, and that's all I'm seeing everywhere of like, oh man. And now it's even seeped into the world of wrestling. But then here we are arguing it's part of the character because they're a heel. It's like, yeah, well, a heel would, in my eyes, use AI videos to try to get over. So yeah, I guess it is working. But we have Elimination Chamber in a few weeks. I saw Javon Evans is added to the Elimination Chamber. And I mean, he's 21, 22 years old. Like, the Chamber came out in 2002. He was definitely not born yet.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, pretty fun match as well. And I think Javon the last couple of weeks has finally like really started to connect. I think they debuted, you know, him, Ober, and Trick all at the same time. And I'd say he's the one that's maybe struggled the most coming in. Maybe they didn't quite know how to present him. But finally they've realized, oh, what got him over in NXT? Him bouncing around. And I think the OG cutter on, was it Rio Bravo last week, was the first step. And then this match in there with Gunther and who was it? Penta? I'm trying to remember. I thought, Dom worked really well. And also it being a triple threat, it somewhat protects Gunther not winning this thing. You're continuing the feud with Dragon Lee. But I think this is a great move. Obviously, I don't see him winning and headline WrestleMania, but he's going to do some spectacular stuff in the Chamber. And you know he's jumping off that pod and taking something ridiculous. So, yeah, good for him. And I thought that was a success on Raw yesterday.
Yeah, like we've watched Javon in NXT for the last little while, and we were like, oh, this guy's special. And he's super young. And they're capitalizing on that, clearly. Like, you hear the reaction he got when he won on Raw. It's like, damn, the crowd's pretty behind him. Like, he's someone they could easily, you know, put a lot behind in the next little while, like if not this year, but following. I'll just like capitalize on how good he is at this young already. So it was great to see him win that. I'm not only going to see him in that match, but yeah, just hearing the reaction the last few weeks on Raw is definitely finally clicking. So all power to Javon Evans. Let's see how far he could go. He could be one of the biggest stars they got in the next few years. Like, he's something fierce too, with that the flippy stuff and the Robinson special kick thing that he did.
The red dot, is it? They've finally given a name to, I think. Yeah. But yeah, they need to capitalize on him while he's young, because he could be in this company for a long time, and there's a risk of keeping him as an over mid-card talent for so long that he just becomes another Dolph Ziggler kind of person. And So I think they should prime him. I'm not saying right away, but they should try to get him to be, a major champion with that record of the youngest champion of all time.
Yeah, that would be, what's the record? 24?
Randy, isn't it?
With 23?
23 or 24, I believe.
In Toronto, he beat Redacted. Could forget. And then it was 2 weeks in a row where one of my favorites, Becky Lynch, has just become unwatchable for me. Just whatever that segment was last week, they saw people last week were like, wow, that segment was really bad. They couldn't do anything possibly worse. We've been holding that beer because I don't know. I like both these wrestlers. Why is this feud like nails to a chalkboard for me? Is it written by I don't know. I don't know what this is, but I had to see it with my own eyes because last week was so bad that I'm not going to come on and be like, oh, I didn't watch it. I'm like, oh, I want to see if they picked up or got worse. And that to me is what happened.
Okay. I'm torn with this one. I wouldn't say it was worse than last week for me. I thought last week's was pretty awful.
That's fair.
And whereas I was watching this one and I actually really liked some of it and then really hated other parts of it. I thought AJ was so much better here. I think a criticism I had last week was she was too blasé about everything. It was just like, oh yeah, let's just have a match. Oh, I've beaten you before. It was a bit too playful for a feud that's been going on since August, September. Whereas I thought this week her kind of being like, no, I've come back to do stuff. I've come back because I want to face all these great women. And I want to prove, I love the line about I was fighting for a sparkly pink butterfly, but I made that title, which I kind of agree. When I think of that title, I think of it around AJ Lee's waist. It kind of just was made for her, it feels like. And she was one of the stepping stones to it becoming not the Divas division, but the women's division. And I really like that she hit on that. And I wouldn't say AJ is the best promo out there, but I felt this week she struck on she sounded honest. And I thought that came through. And I even thought the way she was kind of shaky when she was delivering it, like a little nervous thing, which she's always kind of had, really worked because it showed how much she cares about this and that she wants to prove herself and wants to mix it up. And then you have the Becky Lynch part, which just felt so over the top. You can see in the picture we've got on the screen here, her balling up her fist behind her back. I hated the whole punch me. Oh, I'm not going to punch you. That's what lost me. And it was just, yeah, it was strange because last week I really hated. And then I felt this week that there was maybe them trying to answer some of the criticism and try it all right, fresh slate. Let's try again. Let's try and do it again. And it somewhat achieved it, but then there was some bits. And unfortunately, it was I love Becky Lynch and I've been enjoying this character of her. I know it's a lot of people haven't, but I think she's been pretty good at it. But it was way too over the top that it then took me out of the segment again.
It reminds me of whenever anyone was feuding with John Cena and they try to be serious and then he would I don't know, call them a ham
make a poop job. Yeah.
Yeah. He would say something silly and then it just and I felt like this entire segment was like that again, like last week. What was that movie with Sebastian Stan that came out last year? It was Oscar nominated, this and that. The Trump movie, right? Right. That movie was basically based on Trump, allegedly, quote unquote, based on a true story. But no one who liked Trump wanted to watch that movie because it was shitting on Trump. They also found that no one who hated Trump wanted to watch that movie because no one fucking likes Trump. That's what this gimmick is. I don't want to watch you do that. It was funny when you were doing it on Twitter and I see the stuff, but her promos are she's clearly watching his I'll call them promos, I guess. And she's doing word for word of things he says. And again, I think it was funny the first time. And now it's oh my God, I cannot wait for you to get out of this. I really okay, you brought the Divas thing up. Sidebar, if anyone has a Divas Championship they need to get rid of. A little ongoing thing Davie is aware of. I've been looking for the Divas Championship replica. Anyone who's got one to get rid of, holla at your boy. Because I love pink, purple butterflies. I like that part. And that's when you could have had Becky, like, all of a sudden flip that switch back to being like, hey, you know what? Actually, we're two of the best, blah, 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 blah. Instead, it was like cartoony with the fist thing and then hit me. And I was just like, oh my God, why? I like these two. These two are like, if not two of the best ever. And
it almost feels overthought. I don't know. Like, I think Becky, like, she could have stayed, and I think it would have been more sinister if she just went nasty. If she was like, I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of hitting you right now, because I'm going to get the satisfaction of ending your career in your hometown, Chicago, proving that the Divas era meant nothing, that I'm worth everything. Fuck off. Just being instead, like, I do get a kick out the everyone's saying it, Bleacher Report's saying it, but I do like that line. But apart from that, it's too much like comedic villain. And especially when you've got AJ, who this week seemed to be cutting like quite a raw, truthful promo.
Yeah.
It was bizarre. Like, unfortunately, this is just going to be a miss. I wouldn't be surprised if it continues all the way to Mania, which it's going to be tough. They're going to have to like try and fix this somehow. And as I think we're both on the same page, it's Becky maybe who needs to dial it back a bit. But I'm also looking forward for the match to be done and then both move on to something fresh, something different, and try and kind of rehab themselves a bit.
You know who would make this segment even better? If you injected Ronda Rousey into this, that would just put it over the...
I will go there, but there's one more thing about Raw I'd like to talk about.
What was that? What else from Raw?
And that's what's in the box.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. What's in the box? Well, you know, sometimes to open a box that's locked, you need keys. Right?
Yeah.
Don't you?
Sometimes just a crowbar.
This box needs like a Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci to open it. I'm not sure. Is this Jericho or is he frozen somewhere?
Well, Jericho came right to my mind with this segment. You know, it's such a Jericho likes doing his vignettes and things before he returns. He's always played about with dates, hasn't he? Think the Save Us Y2J, but also the original debut, which I believe is in Chicago. The fact it says deliver to WWE kind of implies that it's coming from elsewhere. Like it's a little wink and a nudge to another place he might have been. And then the news comes out today that Jericho is still under AEW contract, that in fact they froze his contract when he took the time off. And I believe he was last in AEW in April last year. So, was this originally shot to be a Jericho tease? Are we now going to have to pivot? Was this never going to be Jericho? Are we going to see Jericho in WWE? Is this AEW doing a little payback for the Andrade situation? And are we going to see this drawn out for a little bit? What is going on here and what's in the box?
Yeah, I mean, you say the word, these sites are reporting frozen with his contract, but we've seen Tony Khan put people on ice when he doesn't want to use them, right? Or like the Ricky Saints thing was like, oh, you're going to WWE? Well, I'm not going to put you on TV then, essentially is what happened. And people had thoughts about that, but why would you invest time and effort and money into someone that, you know, is not going to be around for you, I guess. I don't know about this if it's Jericho. It's literally just a box. I would say the least creative so far. But as someone in the chat as well, I see you, Blue Ranger. It could easily open and there's a clock in it, right? Like as simple as a clock, as a he has so many things that are tied to his career. A notebook, fucking pen, a list. Like,
well, I was listening to the What Culture lads, and I think it was our friend Michael Hamflet who suggested that it's like a fruit machine, a one-armed bandit, and they open it, they pull it, and it spins and goes Y2J,
right? As
like a tease for that, maybe. But yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for if it is a human being in this thing because now it's getting shipped to SmackDown for them they're holding on to it for 2 weeks. Is it just Danhausen?
Oh, I don't know about that one, but like I brought up Royce Keys is just because like he showed up in the Rumble and then it's just like like nothing about him. So I'm just like, where's this guy's intro? You brought him in to have for the pop. That was no pop. And like I like that guy and I think he could be doing good. It's just like you brought him into the Rumble as a weird time around Mania time. I don't necessarily see that actually being him, but the Jericho thing is weird. Like I definitely see Jericho not being in AEW anymore. We were just talking about it on Sunday. We're like, is he going to show up again? Who knows? You know, people are like, I don't know. You got Fozzy, you got all this, but I see him ending his career in WWE no matter what happens. So whether this is related to him or not, I can't think of anyone. I mean, Private Party, they're back in AEW, so it can't be them. They're not stuck in the box. But what's in the box?
The Rock.
This sounds negative, but like I said, like this isn't very creative. We have guys wearing masks, all black and masks, and a box that literally says to WWE. It's like, for fuck's sake.
Okay, like, but it's week 1 of this, and it's
going to continue and get bigger and bigger.
Well, it's got people talking, right? It's the first seed of a mystery. We know we're getting a reveal of something at the Elimination Chamber.
Like, think of his, like, why Save Us. Like, I was watching around there. Like, right away, people were like, that's Jericho. Come on. A cryptic video message. Like, come on. And then it had people talking forever. Like, that was sort of, I mean, that was definitely done already at that time, but, like, sort of more creative. Whereas this is like, okay. But if we are saying that something else is inside it, then of course, there's more creative to it. But just saying, hey, there's a box and it's going to be delivered in Elimination Chamber. It's like, oh, okay. All right. I just feel like a lot of the copy pastes are happening where it's like, okay, the masked thing we just did, and then they do it again. And I don't know. I kind of hope it is Jericho. I want to see him retire in WWE. So like, I'm not saying I was bummed he didn't show up at the Rumble, but I still he's one of my guys, he's one of my favorites. I'm like, I want to see him one more time. And we've asked this question the last few months. As much as I just said, I want to see Jericho in WWE, I can't name a feud, a match that I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see this. Like, I don't know if that's good or bad, but is there any, like, you're like, oh, like we say the Punk match, I guess that's.
I mean, I'm not excited about seeing Chris Jericho wrestle ever again, but I know people are, and I think just, you know, I do get excited of any change, you know, people jumping ship, people hopping over, like that's exciting. That's always been an exciting thing in wrestling. And I think there is curiosity that comes out of it. Like there's no one in AEW I want to see Jericho against at all, and nothing that feels interesting or special. Whereas I think there are a few things that you could do, like not necessarily looking forward to see or expecting it to be a world-class match. But I think some stuff with Punk would be interesting. And just mixing up with some of the guys he's not faced and see what he can get out of them, or whether he brings them down, drags them into the Jericho verse or what. Just presentation as well. Like that kind of thing interests me. How does WWE present Chris Jericho in 2026? If they're able to, who knows?
Yeah. Again, I can't think of any other options that they would push for someone. Like the only one is Royce, just because we did see him already that he's like a part of WWE. But
that feels weird to debut someone.
Oh, absolutely.
Debut them in a box. Like Jade. They did the same with Jade Cargill, didn't they? They debuted her at the Rumble to get that surprise, and then kind of she disappeared for a bit, and then she did the contract stuff, like going on every brand to see where she wanted to go. So maybe they just wanted to, you know, he just dropped the trios titles the week before. I think they wanted to do that thing of let's get him out there now. And now they're probably, I wouldn't be surprised if it's after Mania, like Raw after Mania, he comes out to make an impact or something like that.
True. Yeah, that's fair. We shall see. Because does he show, like, whoever this is, it says Chamber is the date, so it's got to be the reveal. But that could be, hey, whoever is in this is wrestling at WrestleMania or part of the show. Or
Could it be a like fifth pod
for the chamber?
Yeah.
It sounds like too much work for the people to put it together. Like you could just start with someone being added into the match.
They've done that before, haven't they?
But literally adding a fifth pod, I don't know. It changes.
It's kind of the right size. Could be.
It changes everything in those toys, and I mean, it could sell more toys, but
exactly.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens at Elimination Chamber. If you want to watch Elimination Chamber and you are in the Toronto area, well, we are throwing a little Elimination Chamber watch party at National in the Well, downtown Toronto. We are at a new venue. We had a lot of fun rumbling with our pals for the Royal Rumble, but we're doing it all again. We're going to lock ourselves in and watch the wrestling on all the screens, our projector, the TVs. We got the wrestling drink specials, some food, some games, raffles, prizes, the whole lot. This is going to be a blast. And then even looking a little further ahead, we got 2 nights of WrestleMania at the National in the Well. So Poisonrana.ca for all the information on that. We will be at this bar in a few weeks, only a week this Saturday from Saturday to talk all about Elimination Chamber. We're going to watch it. We will be live Sunday after to talk all about it. But yeah, looking forward to this. I mean, the Chamber, the winner gets to go on to Mania. We're assuming it's Cody Rhodes, but now you got Cody, Javon in there. What, LA Knight is in there. There's a few.
Randy Orton's in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe this fifth pod.
That's right. 5 pods.
Yeah.
At the sponsored by Tide. Will be the Elimination Chamber. No, who are we kidding? It's sponsored by Dude Wipes. Yeah, of course. Yeah. You ever get in a bind? Use a Dude Wipe. I like that Dom has it on his gear. The one guy who should have.
What is it? Is it a wipe for your balls? Like what?
Yeah, it's for dudes. It's wipe your ball sweat, your dingleberries, whatever you need.
So
to
it's just a wet wipe.
Pretty sure it's just a wet wipe. Don't flush them, I think.
But what, regular wet wipes are too feminine?
Yeah.
For us men.
Absolutely.
For us dudes who watch wrestling, so we need a dude wipe.
Yeah, they always smell like, like lilies or fucking lavender. I don't want to smell like that. I want to smell like.
So what's this smell like? Like
metal.
Burning wood?
Yeah. Tobacco. Kind of want them now. Can you are they flushable?
It's the first thing it says. Dude wipes are large, flushable, and biodegradable wet wipes designed for men.
Hey, that changes everything.
Featuring aloe and vitamin E to provide a cleaner alternative to toilet paper.
Look, I'm not even gonna lie. As long as wrestling fans stop fucking stinking,
yeah,
I'm okay with it. Put it all over the map for all I'm caring. Make the tables have it.
Okay.
Give them to people when they come into every show, please, for the love of God.
Available in unscented, mint chill, shea butter, and medicated for irritation. Interesting.
Yeah, I want to be medicated. That's what the hell is that?
Well, it's if you got sensitive skin, basically, that you're not going to get a big old rash on your bum hole.
Yeah, I guess. So Dude Wipes, awesome product. I hope I don't think we have them in Canada, unfortunately. We'll work on that. But
they'll just hand them outside the arena with the C4 energy drink that they don't let you take in.
Yeah. Well, they did. Well, I think I just snuck mine in.
You just snuck them in. Yeah.
Yeah. They give you stuff at WWE events sometimes in the States, never in the ones in Canada because we're not cool like that.
No, we had C4 at Scotiabank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we did. But in the Prime bottles, I'm still seeing people sell those online now, which is absolutely mental. But yes, Chamber in Toronto in a few weeks. We're going to be watching at the National. Looking forward to that. We're hanging out with some people. If you are a listener and you're in the Toronto area and you want to hang out and watch the show, please reach out or check out Poisonrana.ca for all of our links. We have Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. There's tons of stuff you can follow us on, including patreon.com/PoisonRana. We have our own Patreon. We are 2 independent podcasters. We got shoot jobs, but we just love talking about wrestling so much that we do it here at Post Wrestling, but we also do it on our Poisonrana live every Sunday on our free feed, which you should subscribe to. But we keep the lights on here at patreon.com/poisonrana. $5 to become a friend for a whole month's access to all the shows that we put out in the month and everything in that back catalog. We have done tons of retro wrestling reviews, movie reviews, and more. We have podcast series. If you're really into NXT, we have a show called What's Next, where we go back in time and review old NXT. We have talked about the money-making fighting Legionnaires. We've talked about the Four Horsewomen, Sami Zayn right now, always on the hunt for the NXT championship, Adrian Neville. We're all about the old gold and black era of NXT. We also have a podcast series called Up Yours, where we have family member world champs pick stuff for us to review. We've done so many different movies, and just last week, Howie picked Kill Bill Volume 2, which means we have now reviewed the whole bloody affair, technically, kind of. If you're a Kill Bill Tarantino fan, these are the only Tarantino movies we've reviewed on the Patreon, shockingly. So go check out those reviews. But a huge podcast series that you may thought we gave up, but oh no, we never give up because he never gave. Oh wait, he did. The Champ is Here, a series where every episode we look at the title win and title reign of John Cena's never seen 17 title wins. And this is The Champ is Here, episode 14, where we will be looking at the John Cena Randy Orton rivalry. You're going to ask, which John Cena Randy Orton rivalry? There's so many, I've lost track, but this is the one where they put the belts up.
This is the one where fans had definitely reached their breaking point of this feud. It's the John Cena's third World Heavyweight Championship reign after his surprise return from injury, coming back a lot earlier than expected, capturing the gold against Alberto Del Rio, and then leading to a unification match at TLC 2013 with a very, very memorable raising of the titles ceremony with former champions in the ring. I'm very looking forward to talk about this one.
Oh yeah, it's got everything. Damian Sandow cashing in unsuccessfully and so much more. Our friend Eric Blondin from The Draw, the radio show you can hear on TSN Radio's Thursday nights, where he talks about the Graps. Eric's going to be joining us to talk all about this reign. The show will be available this week over on our Patreon. We are recording this tomorrow, so going to be talking more about John Cena, and we're almost there. This is 14. We have a few more episodes, though. We have a few tricks up our sleeve when it comes to The Champ is Here, so follow this space. But yes, tons of shows on our Patreon. If all those shows plus all these retro wrestling reviews, we did Royal Rumble 2016 just a few weeks ago. We've been all over the place with different movie reviews and wrestling, and it's literally $5 a month to get access to all these shows. And appreciate people who sign up and give us a shot, because again, we like to do this for fun, but it's how we keep the lights on and keeps us going all these years. So come up to WrestleMania. This is what, like year 7 of UpNXT, year 8?
Yeah,
of UpNXT?
yeah.
Something
We
like
started
that.
2018.
2018. So
going into our 8th year. That's crazy.
Wow, that's crazy. So yeah, Patreon's been only going for like 6 or something like that, but it's been going strong and steady, and it's all because of the friends and everything out there. And I know times are hard. Boy, are they hard. Every time I go to the grocery store, I'm reminded that times are hard. So we understand, and free things are definitely something we like to give out. So if you want to hear all the other stuff, patreon.com/poisonrana. But we have a free feed. You just search Poisonrana Live in your Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and we do a show every Sunday. We just did a show on Sunday. It's on the free feed. We ran through the entire Grand Slam Australia. We were talking about Andrade, Hangman, the Babes of Wrath, Mox and Takeshita putting on a banger, that ladder match. It was awesome. Plus everything else in the world of wrestling every Sunday on Poisonrana Live. So tons of podcasts out there, tons of content. Appreciate everyone checking out, and every little like and all that goes a long way. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Before we get into NXT, I believe you wanted to talk about, you kind of already hinted at it, Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano being announced.
I didn't believe it was real. I didn't believe it was real. Now, I'm not necessarily the biggest MMA fan, especially in 2026 climate, but I've been around the block. I know. I used to watch. I used to know. This used to be a big dream match back in the day. Like this used to be the one that people wanted to see. This was the dream women's MMA fighting. Ronda and Gina. And it's happening in 2026 on Netflix. So it's like, what? I didn't believe this was real when I saw this today.
Gina fought in 2009. Was Javon Evans born then? Yeah, but
I think so.
But yeah, I was kind of the same. I saw two things this morning. I saw we're getting Mike Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather and Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano. And
what?
Oh, have you not seen this?
No.
We're getting Mike Tyson versus Floyd Mayweather
what
as
the
well.
Fuck?
Yeah, I didn't believe either were real, but yeah, sure enough. And it's not UFC or TKO promoting this, but MVP. So that's
Montavious Porter?
Yeah. So that's quite interesting as well. But this is going to be on Netflix, and I'm sure this is going to do huge.
I mean, okay. I'll get this out of the way. I don't like Gina. She still looked good though, but I don't like Gina at all. And I expect Ronda to like clean her clock in very short amount of time. I don't really like either of these.
I don't like either. But...
Actually, now that I think about it, I really don't like any of these people, but I guess I'm going to watch it. I don't know. Like, yeah. I like these, I don't know what you call these Netflix era of this like Jake Paul boxing promotion shit. Like it's not real, but I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm in, but like, this can't be the end of it. Like this has got to lead to more, right? Like this has got to lead to Brock Lesnar versus Conor McGregor. It's got to lead to Silva versus GSP.
I mean, you've got the White House UFC show this year, and whatever they put on there, they're going to want to be bigger than this. You know, they can't let the biggest fight of the year be a non-UFC show. So I think they're going to be pulling out all the questionable people to fight at that event.
Questionable people in MMA?
Yeah.
What? No. I think you got the wrong sport or whatever. Look, I'm not necessarily saying I'm excited. It caught my attention. Like that was something that people wanted to see and talked about even before both of them were like they're like household names, really. Like this was a match I think people really were like, oh, these two should fight, and then their lives went separate ways. But I don't know. I could see Ronda just wrecking her. And then calls out Holly Holm or calls out someone else for the next one. But what fighters would you like? You're saying Tyson and Mayweather. Is that going to be like that Tyson fight where it was pretty like?
So it's a exhibition fight, April 24th. April 25th. So just after WrestleMania in the Congo.
Okay, what is there any like dream fights like this that you want to see?
I don't really care for boxing or MMA.
I know.
I think all the
pick anyone though.
All the names. I'd get Piers Morgan versus Donald Trump. I don't know. Like
Donald can't fight. Come on.
Yeah. No, I mean I'll probably watch both of these, but to me, I have no idea who anyone is really in the boxing world or MMA world, bar like a handful of people.
I want to see Shia LaBeouf versus whoever those dudes were who beat the fuck out of him just the other day on TMZ. I want the rematch. Put it on Netflix. I'm okay with this train wreck version of boxing and MMA because it brings people to. We don't have in the old days people would get together like, oh, okay, like the big Tyson fight or whatever, the big Mayweather fight. Like I feel like we don't have that, and now it's become whatever is on Netflix. So literally, Netflix could book two fighters and tell us they're the biggest, and I feel like it would do well. But Ronda obviously is a name that I think would bring some attention to this. But people just like having these live things, so I'd say they're already proven to be extremely successful, and I'd like to watch more.
I
hate them too.
Yeah, I don't care really for seeing these, big companies making millions and millions of dollars over subpar product, which I think a lot of the time it is. But putting that aside, I do like whenever there's an event that everyone's watching and everyone's kind of in on. So whether it be like some of these Olympic Games we're having right now, or a World Cup, or the Oscars, or, you know, I do like those things that like loads of people, more so than often, are collectively watching together. And sometimes it's fun, you know, working in a bar, having these events on that everyone's normally talking about how much they don't want to watch it, yet they're watching it, that kind of thing. I quite enjoy.
Yeah, exactly. It's another thing for people to be, oh, that big Ronda fight is this week. Okay, cool. Yeah, absolutely. But better than her wrestling, right? So
yeah.
So I guess, but yeah, I'm holding out for GSP and Silva. We don't need to see it, and it shouldn't happen, but you could do it. So book it, I guess. Bring back Celebrity Deathmatch. Let's do that instead, maybe, possibly. Yeah, I don't know. I felt ways about it. I just didn't believe that it was happening. You just told me and showed me the image for Mayweather Tyson, and I still don't believe you. So we'll see. In the Congo, so that's insane. Anyways, there you go. Is that fighting more fake than WWE sometimes? Like some of those Paul brother promotion fights were very questionable.
I feel this Ronda Carano fight is going to be a little bit more legit than the Mayweather Tyson one is going to be.
Okay. All right. We'll see. She was what, in The Mandalorian?
Yes.
And she probably said some shit she didn't say. I forget what she said, but
if she said it today, she'd probably be fine. Like, but
yeah, the last time I heard of Gina Carano was when she got fired from The Mandalorian and said that she's going to build her own streaming service bigger than Disney. And I was like, good luck with that. Well, she's on Netflix, so
yeah.
maybe she wasn't completely wrong, but yeah, she's gonna get her head kicked in. So good to see it. Yeah, looking forward to that. But nothing brings me more joy than watching NXT every Tuesday night, also on Netflix. Nothing could bring me more joy than Netflix bringing me my wrestling. I love it so much. Let's talk about some NXT from February 17th, 2026. Happy Lunar New Year, by the way.
Oh, yes.
Happy Chinese New Year. Year of the horse?
Year of the horse?
Yeah, Year of the horse.
Horse. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, what'd you think I said?
Something else.
Year of the horse. Yeah, that's what it is. NXT, February 17th. We start things off with a recap of everything that's been going on in the world of NXT. We had a ladder match. We got a new champion. Things are crazy. Joe Hendry, half our roster's gone. People are champions in other companies again, just the way NXT should be. But we start things off with a match, a bit of a grudge match here on NXT. Lola Vice taking on Kelani Jordan. And this is all stemming from these two hating each other when Lola mizzed Kelani by throwing her gear out of the locker room.
Yeah.
Starting this feud. And now it's escalated to new heights because then Kelani attacked Lola in her hand, telling her, who you going to knock out now? And then the hand was taped up and then she injured it again. But Lola still taking this match. As Kelani makes her entrance, Lola runs up and attacks her here. So attacking her every chance that she can. And these two start to brawl as the match starts. And Lola is hitting a series of arm drags in the springboard there, using the good hand, of course, because the bad hand is in a brace and taped up. But then eventually it is Lola who gets dropped. And then Kelani, of course, attacks it, knee drops the hand a few times, eventually takes the brace off and starts like waving it around and everything. She throws Lola's hand into the steps and stomps on it again. She's like bending these fingers and working this hand to all over the place, ways the hand shouldn't bend. Eventually, she even puts the hand in between the piece of the turnbuckle that connects the turnbuckle. I don't know what the exact name, but it's like an axle or something here with that little piece that it gives you enough to fit her hand in as she bends it against the metal here. Eventually, though, Lola starts to fight back, hits a German suplex, and then the ass shake. Booker T almost falling out of his chair with the giggity, giggity, giggity. I wish I was joking when I say that, but he literally does Quagmire. I have to reiterate every time, because if you just listen to us make jokes about, oh, Booker T is quagmiring again, you might just be like, ah, ha, ha. No. He literally giggities when this woman shakes her bum.
Sorry, Wrestling Observer newsletter, worst commentator of 2025 quagmiring on NXT.
Come on.
Put some respect on that man's name.
Come
His
on.
full title.
He's not the worst. Maybe
he's not the best.
Maybe he's beaten me into submission, but I love you, Booker T. Not really, but like I do, but not really. So Booker's giggity. He says that's a spicy meatball. That's what he says to Lola Vice. I don't know if it's as good or as bad as the Devil's Kiss thing.
Do you want to be called a meatball?
I don't like it. I don't like this at all. Her thing is she shakes her ass and he goes, yeah, she's a spicy meatball. I'm like, what does that have to all right. So Lola fights back. She chases Kelani near Booker T. Actually, he was getting pretty sweaty here. And she goes to hit the back fist, spinning back fist to Kelani on the outside, but Kelani ducks, and therefore Lola Vice back fists her hand through the perch cardboard wall, goes into the ring. Lola is laying there. Kelani goes for the 450. It's blocked and countered, and it's Kelani who steps up and stomps yet again on the hand and starts bending it backwards, manipulating it until Lola has no choice but to tap out. And Kelani Jordan is your winner here, tapping out the cage fighter on the opening of NXT. Booker T, not too happy about that. You know, I liked this match, and probably one of the highlights of this episode that definitely had some ups and downs. Really disliked the fist through the paper wall. I just think that's pretty cheesy. Like, it's literally paper.
It's thicker than paper. Come on. It's thin wood. It's thin wood.
But
because she's powerful. She's got powerful fists.
That's my one gripe with them. I like this. I like both these two. I like this. I really could have done without the paper wall.
It's not
better,
paper. Come on.
Better than a paper skateboard, but still like
they have to keep fixing it. They got to use cheap wood to keep fixing this.
They need to. It's been like 3 years. They could. I mean, same with the barricades in WWE. I guess you could say the same thing. But yeah,
I enjoyed the match. I like both these two. I'd like to see both of them kind of progress into something a bit more meaningful in NXT. But I've enjoyed this feud. I think Kelani's taken to this heel role a lot better than I thought she would, and is managing to make it work in her wrestling now as well, because she still can do all the spectacular stuff, but having her being a bit more mean, and I think having that hand to target throughout this match, very Pete Dunne-esque with the finish of just grinding on that hand, I thought was good. But I wonder if we're going to have maybe Kelani out for a few weeks and then come back for a underground match is how I see it. You know, she's getting her hand fixed up. She comes back and attacks Kelani in a few weeks, and that's maybe set up for maybe Stand and Deliver, maybe Vengeance Day or something.
I would imagine you have Lola Vice, Kelani Jordan, NXT Underground at Vengeance Day.
Yeah.
I would assume that's the match. And like Lola, we've seen in the past when someone's pushed her to this limit that we go to it, and she's undefeated, right? So that's definitely like her match. But I like this. I like both these two. Like, I think we're pretty high both on Kelani and Lola Vice, and I like that we can have feuds that aren't necessarily revolving around titles and stuff. And I know it started with the title, but it really started with the stuff being kicked out, the locker room stuff and all that. So at least we have some sort of story with actual, I don't know, momentum of something more creative than just.
I'd like to see Lola as well. Like, she started incorporating some like lucha moves in it, because obviously she's having a time in AAA. They don't look the smoothest yet, but I like that she's incorporating them, and I would like to see her keep working on that and try to incorporate more of the lucha into it.
She needs to incorporate a spicy meatball into her, like a move.
Well, what's the Mexican submission style they call it? Not agave, something like that. Yeah, it's something like that. They always go off when Angelico uses it.
I was literally thinking, you mean the stuff Angelico?
Yeah, like try and incorporate some of that.
Krav Maga or whatever.
No, it's I'll look it up.
Yeah, what's like the guy Eddie from Tekken? What's it like? Capoeira? That's lucha dancing. Is that what you're saying?
No, I carry on. I'll find it and
Lucha...
sort of shout it out in about 10 minutes.
Yeah. Also, yeah, because we do that a lot on the show. You were thinking earlier when you said, I quote, that TNA guy. I think you were referring to Jeremy Borash.
Yes, that's right.
That only took about an hour, but we got there. And I feel like you're going to tell me the lucha dance fighting thing.
Yave.
Oh, so you were close.
I was close, yeah.
Yave. Nice. I love Yave. We see where did we go? We went from that match. So yeah, the doctor, all the people are checking on Lola after this, and Kelani's acting all high and mighty. So I would definitely assume an underground match is where we go to this after at Vengeance Day. After this match, Tony D'Angelo, we have a promo. He's outside somewhere, the mean streets of Florida at night. He's talking to Dark State, and he says that you targeted me, and now I target you. Cutler, you want to step up to me? Well, I know you have your history wrestling at Duke University. And Dion, I know you're the leader, so watch what I do to you. I found this funny because I don't think, I might be wrong, but I can't recall them bringing up Cutler James's amateur wrestling career in NXT. I vaguely remember it on the few episodes of LFG I watched because he went to the same university as, remember that guy, like BJ Brady or whatever his name was, the douchebag who we saw a little bit. Yeah.
They were in the same uni and they kind of didn't get along there or whatever. So I remember it being brought up then, but I don't think they brought up Cutler James's amateur wrestling background on NXT. And I just found it funny that here, Tony brings it up. It's like, oh, of course they picked you because you're the amateur wrestler and I did amateur wrestling. And then Cutler James comes out wearing a wrestling singlet, which we've never seen him in before. So it was like this week they were just like, by the way, this guy's a wrestler. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, is it worse or better than when they're like, hey, this person plays football? Because
I mean, wrestling at least is the same sport.
Yeah, because we're gonna get one of that later. But I'm glad you said that because I was head scratching for a second. Like, when did they mention this before?
Yeah, I don't think they ever have.
I feel like maybe they did, but we just don't care. Look at these guys. I don't care.
If JR was on commentary on this show, we'd have known about it a long time ago. But he isn't. Instead,
no, JR was on commentary. JR would be like, this guy was a wrestler at Duke. And I'm not sure if you are aware, but Duke has a football team.
Yeah. And he reminds me of a young Eddie Guerrero. There we go.
So it cuts from this Tony D promo to Dark State watching this, and Cutler says that tonight I'm gonna torture Tony D'Angelo, and he probably says it's on site. Someone says it's on.
They had about 15 seconds here, and they said "bruh" 5 times.
You counted the bruh counters, yeah, bruh. So Cutler, James, Tony D in a little bit. We see Ricky Saints shows up to NXT in the parking lot when he's instantly attacked by our NXT champion, Joe Hendry. So we see Ricky and Joe fighting in the parking lot here. Never safe in the NXT parking lot or any parking lot in Florida. But they are pulled apart here as Ricky is trying to enter the building. So more on that later tonight. Is this going to lead to a parking lot brawl? There should be more parking lot brawls in NXT, really, that we think about. Like,
when was the last? We've had a couple, haven't we? I remember there was one, Adam Cole versus Redacted, who that wasn't very good.
Oh, right.
Remember?
Wow. I didn't until right now, until you said that. So we go from that to Shiloh Hill, dressed up as Jason Voorhees. He's wearing the hockey mask.
Yeah, we saw he had this on the top of his head last week, but this time actually just wearing it.
Just look at this image here. Just search Shiloh Hill Jason mask NXT and just what we have to watch here. By the way, no more Kelly Kincaid.
Yeah,
we didn't mention last week, but that was her last week. done with WWE, it looks like here. But we have Sarah interviewing. Shout out, I always like Kelly Kincaid. I forget. What was it? Quinn McKay in Ring of Honor, right? Yeah, she was always good. But Sarah interviewing Shiloh Hill. He not so good here with his Jason mask. No machete, though. I think he was looking for it. Or is it behind him? Probably here. He eventually takes the mask off and he's interviewed. She says, "Are you ready for your North American Championship match tonight?" He says that I'm going to show Ethan every move that I got. I'm going to do everything in my power to beat him for that North American Championship. This is when Hank and Tank walk in. And they start to say that this guy's, he's smart and he's going to beat Ethan tonight. And he corrects them and starts saying all these big words. And then they say, yeah, we know what he's talking about. And then Shiloh walks off. And then Hank and Tank reveal, like, actually, we have no idea what that guy is talking about. And then Tank says, he's weird, but good weird. And then it fades to black here. But
I think he said he's on a quantum entanglement, which basically means that he's going to become one with the championship tonight.
Yes. So maybe Hank Tank like the weirdness of this guy, that he's kind of aligned with them in a weird, strange way. But more on that and that match later. Vic is going off about, I don't know, Houston NXT or something when they're interrupted because Joe Hendry's music hits.
Here I was like, then I was checking my calendar. Wait, did they say the date wrong earlier? Is it the 7th? Is it the 17th? Is Houston this show? Because again, they kind of were just like, and of course we're in Houston in a couple of weeks. I'm like, of course, like, did we know this?
It's weird because just 2 weeks ago or last week, you had literally someone's promo, a wrestler say, in my home state of Georgia. But of course, when the show is canceled, they do not tell you.
Yeah.
They did not mention this whatsoever on this broadcast, that next week's Georgia show is canceled. It's just that back of the PC. But Joe Hendry comes out. He has this championship. He has a microphone. He says he's not in a singing mood. He's not in a happy mood. He says that he's pretty upset about what happened with Ricky Saints, and he wants to leave all the security backstage. Ricky, come out here and face me. Ricky appears on the perch with a bunch of security around, and he cuts down Joe here with the microphone. He says, I see through you, all your singing and your songs and everything, and you're just not championship material. You see, you're not what we need in NXT. In fact, you bring the title several notches down. This place, NXT, used to build stars, and now we have a meme as a champion. And this really upsets Joe. And he says, now you're just a loser. You do online content like everyone else here. Essentially is what he says. Joe says, yeah, well, I deal with reality and facts. And the fact is that I'm the champion and you're not. Ricky says, no, what's facts is that you're just really good at marketing, and says you're not championship material. And Ricky then also gives Joe a little plug here and says, hey, at least you got the good DLC in WWE 2K, but I'm the real number one around here because everyone knows I'm not just a flash in the pan. I'm gifted. And I think that's when he says, and on March 7th, I challenge you to Vengeance Day. And it's like, wait, when? When is this Vengeance Day? Yes. Okay. Yes. Vengeance Day. Right. So this match is set, and he says, I'm going to beat your ass all over the place. And they both are really excited and eager to face each other, but it is official. Vengeance Day main event, these two for the title.
I do like this version of Ricky Saints a lot more. I think it's something he's always been good at, is kind of telling the truth a little bit in his promos. I go back to that one that comes to my head of, stop looking at me with those bug eyes, Cope, you know, that kind of thing. And I thought this was kind of one of them, because he's saying what a lot of us have said, that Joe Hendry's a bit of a meme. And I think him coming at him with that, which hasn't really been played about with much. It's been played more as the comedy. I've said his name and he appears. But actually bringing up, you're just a bit of a meme. You play your songs and you're popular, but can you really go in the ring? Is great heel stuff for the babyface to then come back and prove, no, I'm a meme and then some. So I actually quite like this. I think I'm not, these aren't this isn't a combo of two wrestlers that I'm particularly excited about seeing, but I get it. They are the two biggest stars in NXT, bar Ethan Page, who has his own thing going on. So I get why you're going this route. Do you see this continuing past Vengeance Day?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, okay, I liked Ricky here. Ricky is totally in his element when he's a bad guy, or at least like in this version. Just the version we had of him was not it. Whatever it was that we've seen before, like since up to now, he hasn't necessarily completely connected or clicked. And I find that he finally is with this character. So I like him. It seems real, like him cutting this guy down, saying things like you said that we actually think and say. People are talking about like, oh, this guy's just kind of a jokey character. Now he's actually saying it. So it's like, okay, a bit more on the nose here, which I like. So I'd say this is more interesting than I think it could have been with, Joe should still eventually sing a song about him or not. Maybe they add a stipulation to this. Maybe this is not just one and done. Maybe this is all the way till Stand and Deliver. I just don't know. Like, if this is Vengeance Day, then we have a roadblock. Like, there's got to be a different opponent. There's got to be a different Stand and Deliver main event.
Unfortunately, I think it's Tony D who's going to be in the main event, whether it's a triple threat with the three of them, and that's sort of what Roadblock sets up. But I can't really see any other contenders unless you have potentially Miles Bourne win the North American Championship, and that frees up Ethan Page to be in the mix.
Right.
And maybe you do a three-way or a four-way. I'm not sure. But there's no obvious feud, because I think your obvious feuds have all been called up to the main roster now.
But then Ethan Page and Ricky seem like they're this two-man power trip. So then why would they, like, that we're going to get to, like, it seems like they're buddy-buddy, unless that's purposely to, break that up. But yeah, I don't know. Tale as old as time lately is the men's division's a bit all over the place. But I'll say, honestly, at least they're, like, going with a bit more of a realistic story of Ricky calling him out on his bullshit here.
Yeah.
And Joe and Joe doing his best, not smiling. Like, hey, I'm actually mad at you and I will fight you for the title. So
they've been good at that. The last just the little build towards that ladder match to now, I think they've tried to take Joe Hendry a bit more seriously.
Right. I could see him lose to Ricky.
Yeah, I could.
I think that might be the move, because then babyface chasing for Stand and Deliver just seems the better way to go. Tuesday, March 31st, we mentioned, is the Roadblock. That will be a Tuesday special in New York, MSG Theater. We see a video of Izzy watching a video from last week. Izzy watching Tatum's AI underwater video, but then she's just sitting in the dark. But don't worry, she's not alone. Izzy is with the Culling. Their area is just darkness. They sit in pure black with one light that shines. Their version of the treehouse is just no smoke, just straight up darkness.
Well, I like to think that this is the same room that Spears had with all his chairs in, but he's had to sell all his chairs.
His was it a room of chairs or like a back, like
wasn't it during the wasn't it like a stadium stampede or Anarchy in the Arena or something like that, where they walked into it and it was just a room with chairs everywhere.
Right. And then he wore a mask. Then he had a mohawk.
And then he had what's his name? Blanchard on his pants.
He had Blanchard on his pants?
He had Terry Blanchard.
Tully.
I'm Tully. I'm blanking on names today. What's wrong with me?
It's
Tully
okay.
Blanchard on like his Y fronts.
Yeah, you should really brush up on your Sean Spears trivia. You're letting me down here. He wore that. He's tried a few things actually. The eyes, the contacts, the chair, the Casey Jones mask, whatever he wears in NXT.
The 10 guy.
Oh, he was 10. Oh man, I missed that theme song.
Oh, that was like the aerobics kind of music.
Yeah, now Shiloh. Yeah, like the Ty Dillinger, pour one out. He's long and gone. But can we revive the theme for someone else? Like, so good. You don't know what we're talking about, but you should look up 10 count. Man, Sean Spears is on this show, which is funny. because he's in this video. They show up in the dark room with Izzy, and they say that Tatum Paxley's a mess. She's not the same Tatum Paxley. And then they mention that she's threatening to be a different version at the next time we encounter her. And Izzy says, it doesn't matter what version of Tatum shows up because every version ends with me winning and retaining my title. And then Spears says that he and Nico are going to go after some gold. And then Nico is like, yeah, that would be good. But what if I just got gold myself? And they're like, yeah, cool, good. Let's just win all the stuff. So, yeah, I've said I don't like the Culling stuff because it's leaning into like his shifty eyes and his grinning and all this stuff. So can't say I'm too excited about a Tatum Izzy rematch or really anything with this Culling stuff. To be honest.
I feel they've gone a little cold with Izzy since winning the title as well. She had that promo that was a couple of weeks ago, but then like I keep forgetting she's champion. So, and this week just having her in a small vignette as well doesn't particularly establish her, I don't think.
Yeah, not necessarily the Culling stuff, not necessarily working for me. We go to the next match. I know you were excited. This is a real Graps match, real wrestling. Tony D'Angelo and Cutler James.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned Cutler James comes out wearing a singlet, a Dark State singlet. Very nice. Will this be the first and only time he wears this singlet? Because, are you ready? They start to fight. They start to scuffle. Tony D spears him, spinebuster, pins him. Match is over in about 30 seconds here. After the match, Dion attacks Tony, but then he spears him too, and then starts to putting the boots to these guys. And then they start to double team him. And I think it's Tony is about to slam the steps on this dude's ankle, and Cutler stops him, and then it's a big pull apart. But this was if I didn't think Dark State were geeks already, oh my god. Now I don't know what is going on with these dudes. Oh, I can't hear you. Oh no, not
sorry. Yeah, no, they've this was Cutler James seems to be the butt of the joke in Dark State, you know, but having Tony so handily take out Dion Lennox, who is the leader of this group, that was more telling to me than the 30-second squash of Cutler James, because he was the one that looked strong off this, taking two of the guys out. I don't know really what they're trying to do with this. I do see Dark State dropping the tag titles next week, with Tony saying he's going to take everything from them. I think it's also a bit of a weird matchup with it being a heel versus heel team, which obviously we'll get to. But we've been saying the division's going to be better with Vanity Project as the champions going forward. So I see D'Angelo costing them the titles next week. But yeah, I don't know what's left for this Dark State group, because they aren't a threat to anyone. No. And they haven't really, okay, they're the tag champs, but they haven't really won much of significance since coming in.
They got geeked out right here. And there was only two of them.
Yeah.
The other two were not here for this segment. So, I mean, I guess you can sort of save Dion Lennox. I wouldn't be surprised if there's I don't know, a change in this group past next week. Does Cutler James get kicked out of this group for losing this quickly to Tony D? Does something happen where they splinter this off into, I don't know, Dion as a singles person and Osiris and Sugars together or something? I don't know, but this has been a copy pasta of the Shield copy paste from it just feels nothing creative since day one of this group. And that's aside from the point that you saying last week, all they say is bruh and on site, and it's nothing is safe and no one's safe. It's oh my god, what? Tell me in 5 words what your character is.
Yeah.
You cannot. So the experiment needs to something needs to give with this group. And I don't know, this was a sign. We've watched this show a lot. What happens when people job out this quick?
Yeah.
I don't want to say it, but what happens when people job out this week? Told you. Will he wear that singlet ever again? We'll find out. But yeah, that was weird. Tony D'Angelo, I guess, will be your NXT championship stand and deliver kind of thing because he's got to go through these guys to go for the title, I guess. But yeah. Backstage, Ethan Page is with the Vanity Project. He says, guys, you're doing great and you're taking my advice, and that's why things are going great for you. When Miles Bourne walks in and he goes, oh, Miles. And then he turns and sees him and he goes, how did I know it was you? It's called championship intuition, something you don't have. And he goes, and I know why you're here. You want a shot? Well, I'm not giving you a shot. And I gave you advice and you just ignored it. You don't have that killer instinct. So get lost. And that's when Miles says, yeah, well, I'll prove it to you. I'll prove I am worthy of a shot. And that's when Ricky, he walks away and he's pretty angry. And Ricky, he bumps into him on the way in. He's like, oh, he's so rude. And then he goes, Ethan, you're a champion. You'll win tonight. And then Vanity, you got a match tonight. Like, all of us are going to be champions by Vengeance Day. So we're already seeing the alignment here of all the evil people on NXT, the bad kids, if you will. Ethan Page being the, like, what is it in high, like the senior in high school who's with all the like freshmen.
Yeah.
But like the shitty ones. And then you got Ethan who's like, dude, you shouldn't be in high school, but you still are. And then I guess that's Ricky and Ethan.
Yeah.
I guess that's half this fucking roster, but you catch my drift. So really there's a 5-man power trip here with Vanity Project, Ethan Page, and Ricky. Just all the baddies together.
They're the most interesting people on this show, the 5
Absolutely.
of them.
Yeah, like absolutely the most interesting characters we have. So we'll see. Will they be all the Vanity? We had the Golden Prophecy, the Undisputed Prophecy, the Toxic Prophecy. Are we going to get the Vanity Prophecy come Vengeance Day? We'll see. Which leads us to this next match. It is a 4-way tag team match, a fatal 4-way tag match. The winners get the tag title shot next week against Dark State. We have Vanity Project, meaning Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes, still the best wrestling name ever, Ricky Smokes, versus OTM, Lucian Price and Bronco Nima, versus Hank and Tank, versus the Culling, Sean Spears and Nico. I don't recall a fatal 4-way NXT tag match. I can recall many triple threat tag matches in NXT because in NXT, you have all 3 in the ring at the same time. I guess we don't do that when there's 4 teams.
Not on fatal 4-ways, no.
Yeah.
On triple threats we do. But yeah.
So in this match you have the
They did say the last one was a few years ago, which OTM won.
Oh, of course. Yes. So only 2 people in at the same time, but by the end of it, does it really matter who's even in this match? But we have Price starting off with Spears. He hits a headbutt, and then Hank and Tank come in to take care of him. Ricky Smokes comes in. He gets dropped by Hank and Tank pretty quickly. And then Nico Vance is in there, and he's kind of cleaning house. Vanity try to go for choke slams on OTM, but they realize they're a lot smaller than them. So then OTM in stereo choke slam Vanity Project both out of the ring onto everyone else as we go into commercial break. This is when Booker T is on commentary and says that every week, I swear, Booker has a different name for Sean Spears. First, it was the GPS.
The cheat code, right? The GPS.
Cheat code, the GPS, and then now he says that Sean Spears...
spicy meatball. Oh, no, wait.
No, it's even better than that. He says he's like a Baptist preacher because he makes you believe. And Vic is like, yep, it's really good. Nice one, Book. And then he goes, can I get an amen? And Vic is like, yeah, all right, amen. Vanity Project finally have some offense on Hank and Tank. They're double teaming Tank here. And then Ricky tags in with this nasty double stomp to the spine as then Hank comes back to save him and clears the ring, hits a flying clothesline here. And then Bronco comes in trying to gain some offense, but then on the outside gets thrown into the post. Vanity Project are getting thrown around like rag dolls in this match by everyone. This is now, is Nico Vance part of the bloodline? Is he Samoan? Because here we have Nico Vance hitting like 5 headbutts in a row in this match. So everyone keeps trying to run at him and then he headbutts them. Or someone comes to run and headbutt him, he headbutts them. So this big headbutt battle from Nico here, clearing everyone out. Eventually, though, OTM take care of him. There's a double angle slam, but the pin is broken up. And then we have where every single person is superplexing someone at the same time, a 4-post or a four-corner massacre, if you will.
The best bit about this spot was the referee in the middle who was trying not to get hit by any of them. And it was almost like that Bart Simpson Sideshow Bob, you know, where he runs to one side of the boat and there's alligators and then there's piranhas the other side, because he's like trying to get the way of one of them and then others are crashing and he was just like,
It's by the second and third he's like really has to be careful because there's so much room. He doesn't.
And they're big guys. A lot of these are pretty big.
Like most of them are filling this entire ring with this spot. It's by the fourth. He's like, I got this. So yeah, power to this referee who survived the 4-post massacre. Hank hits a huge boss man slam to Brad Baylor, but again, broken up here. This is where we have Spear. It's all breaking down. Jackson Drake's on the outside. There's then Spears hitting the C4, but then Drake pulls the leg, so it stops him. And then as he goes to try to grab Jackson Drake, there's this like double stomp. Yeah, I'm saying the word double. Like both guys hit like a double stomp onto Sean Spears, sending him into Jackson Drake and the apron. It looked pretty nasty, actually. And then they all get like flying into the commentator table. And then while all this is happening, Brad Baylor, who's essentially been knocked out, and so is Sean Spears, but it's Ricky who just hops up on the apron and shoves Brad Baylor, who then falls over onto Sean Spears. And the ref counts 1, 2, 3, meaning the Vanity Project are now your number one contenders for the tag team title. This match was all over the place, but that ending, very chaotic. But somehow, yet again, the Vanity Project, who are like the newest, youngest team in this group, managed to make things look so good. So this is a pretty fun match.
I think these are the type of matches that NXT always manages to do well. The kind of controlled car crash multi-person matches are very fun. I think Hank and Tank are always great in these kind of matches. The that double like spear pounce through the announce table they did on was it the OTM or the Culling here was pretty impressive. But just the comedy, like the heel tactics of Vanity Project, but also how great their timing is for people so young, especially Jackson Drake, who was fantastic on the outside throughout this match. Even after like he did the little shove, he's like crawling around to try and not be seen by the ref, even though it's legal because it's a multi-man. He then does this like diving forward roll over the ring steps before going back in the ring to pretend he was this side the whole time. I thought it was pretty funny. And considering what these guys are like 21, 22, aren't they?
That's crazy.
I think they're fantastic. I think these are the right guys to win this. I think they're gonna be getting cheers as heels very soon, if not already. They should absolutely win next week. I wouldn't mind on one of the, whether it's Vengeance Day or Stand and Deliver, having Hank and Tank against these two again, because I thought that match was great last week, and I think give them a little bit more time on a bit of a bigger show. I think that's probably the best tag match you have available in NXT at the moment, unless you create a new team out of nowhere. I can't see who it is, but they're the two teams I think actually have something in this division, and I could see potentially on the main roster. I can't see any other of these guys doing it.
It's just crazy. Like, think of how long these guys have been on this show, and only a few times. And every single time we're like, oh, these guys are pretty funny and annoying. It's good. Or actually, hey, they're pretty good wrestlers. It's crazy. Like they're so young, and therefore already we're like, oh, these guys could save NXT. Like the state of this show has been bad for a while, that we will gladly take people like this over whatever they've been trying to shovel for the past little while. You know, I see someone in the chat, Big Time Baxter, saying indie wrestlers just get it. NIL athletes have a long way to go. That's exactly it. I think we were saying that the last few weeks about these guys. These guys are young, but they come from wrestling. They're not coming from football at a university and went on a reality show and The Undertaker said you were good. These guys have actually been around the block wrestling.
It's interesting because like when I was doing acting a lot more, and I went to Second City here to train in improv, and you had a lot of actors going into improv, but you had a lot of just regular people that want to give it a go. And some of them were good, but it was interesting just the small things that you're taught from a young age acting, projecting, speaking so people can hear you, turning your body out so you can be seen, not standing right in front of your scene partner so you're blocking them. It's all these little things that are they just become natural that you don't think about it because it's ingrained in you at an early age. And it's kind of what you see here with your indie ID wrestlers who just have that. They've got the fundamentals there already and therefore can start building on the other stuff. They can start working more on character and timing and that kind of thing, rather than these guys who've never wrestled who are trying to grasp just the fundamentals as well as trying to build a character on top of that and do all these other things. Like they're starting like so far behind from some of the others, which you doubt that these people are thinking like, oh, I don't need to think about how to do a hip toss or how to run the ropes because I've been doing that since day one. Yeah. And I think you definitely see it with these guys who are just fantastic.
Again, like they're smaller, younger guys, but tell me how these dudes could probably run circles around half the people who are at this performance center. It's because they come from wrestling before they got here and they clearly know how to do it a lot better than so many of these. I'll take 7 Vanity projects over 2 Shiloh Hills or fucking Ridge Hollands or whoever else they're trying to football players, this and that. Like I can tell the difference. And I think a lot of other people can too. I don't know. I'd much rather prefer these kinds of guys. Like you brought in, we'll talk about Elio LeFleur, like bring in other people who have actual wrestling background. Stop trying to do this LFG shit. It clearly is not working the way you think it will. Like it will once in a while. Roman Reigns, he played football, turned out okay. But like then they just went, yeah, let's get everyone from the CFL. Let's get everyone from Duke. It's like, no. Like, you just cast your net all over the place, which is good, I guess. But it shows. Like, these guys are awesome. And I'm so happy they won this match. I think they should win next week. And I think Hank and Tank versus Vanity should be the Vengeance Day show, match for the tag titles. Like, easily, these 3. I like Jackson Drake as well. Easily, maybe already. Think of like when Javon showed up right away. We were like, oh, this guy actually knows ball. He actually knows how to wrestle. Right away, we were like, he's already our favorite to watch, which is crazy to say that I already think that these guys are my favorite to watch on this show. And they've had how many appearances? Later tonight, they're going to try to boast Vic Joseph, bless his heart, because I love him, and it's just his job. But they're trying to get over the fact that, oh, Shiloh Hill, this is his 7th TV match. Yeah, it fucking shows. Like, this is swipe right's like 6th or 7th TV match. They look like they've wrestled for fucking 20 years. They're fucking not even 20 years old. It's crazy. It's crazy. Love these guys. I want them to win all the gold in NXT in 2026. So it starts with next week. What else we have for next week is Keanu Carver. Now, this is someone who, speaking of football, here's a promo telling us football. He used to play football, and he loved going on the football field because XYZ. He liked to hurt people, and he was allowed to do it because it was in the game. But then he got kicked off the team, but no one can control me. NXT can't control me. Sean Legacy, you definitely can't control me. And next week, I'm going to show you what I'm capable of. So Sean Legacy versus Keanu Carver next week on NXT. Sean is the one who, okay, well, Keanu picked the fight, but Sean was definitely like, I'm not backing down. So it won't be in Georgia, but it's next week. I think this could be fun. Sean Legacy does come from a background of wrestling. Keanu, not so much, but the whole way they're trying to portray him is working, I think, sort of.
Yeah, they've still a way to go in ring, but I think they've debuted him pretty solidly so far in making him seem like a threat.
I feel like for some reason, I've just attacked football altogether on this show, but I do hate this. Like, this is the classic, well, I played on a football team. Therefore, like, I feel like this is another copy paste we've heard a lot in specifically NXT. We see Mr. Stone, Rob Stone is backstage, and Joe comes up to him like, hey, I want that match. I'm still pretty pissed at Ricky. And he goes, I sent Ricky out of here. I kicked him out because he was attacking you. In fact, you're also kicked out because you were attacking him. So go home and come back next week. So Joe and Ricky both kicked out of the building for fighting. But as that's happening, Soul walks up. Hey, have you seen Zarya? Oh, there she is. So she finds Zarya sitting alone. And Zarya says, no, piss off. I love that. I love hearing an Aussie say, piss off. Miss Hanning at Wheeler Yuta on Saturday, but piss off is a good one. She says, piss off. And Soul is like, dude, why? She says, last week was the final straw. I'm done with you. And I'm done with this friendship. And then get this. Go to hell. Wow.
Yeah.
Jesus. What did this girl do to you to tell her to go to hell? Wow.
I appreciate that Zarya waited a whole week to get all this off her chest rather than, sending the essay long text message and then the second and the third text message and all that. We keep waiting for this breakup to happen. They keep putting us there and then pulling us back and doing it all over again.
Piss off. So she says, deal with fatal influence by yourself. I'm not your friend anymore. Wow, this was heartbreaking for me to watch here. It's like, geez, that's it? Spoilers. It's not it. Don't worry. It's not it. Or is it? Fatal Influence come out to the ring. This is their promo. This was backstage earlier with Soul, so it's a brand new segment now. Fatal Influence come out. JC Jane, Fallon Henley, and the other one. Sorry, what's her name? Lainey Reed. She's got her pose, though. She definitely heard the outcry from the NXT pop, fan base. What was Jasmine Nix? She says, "Hey, come here." No,
closer. No, you're too close.
So now, what's hers? It's like this little
it's like
wave, like a
little finger wave.
Yeah, little thing like that. It's a work in progress. It's getting better. JC Jane has the microphone. She says, "If I could be honest with everyone here, I'm gonna get a little real. I'm not gonna come out here and complain. I'm just jealous of Sol Ruca. Sol Ruca is a bigger star than me," says JC. "I held 2 titles at once, the same time. I even beat Stephanie Vicaire for this title. And look, she's going to be at WrestleMania. And yet, I had to watch Sol Ruca on Saturday night's main event from my couch because John Cena picked her to be in a match. And I'm the champion, and I had to watch this. And it wasn't me. And then I went to the Royal Rumble. Had a whole big time showing up at the Rumble, but on that long flight home, everyone kept talking about Sol Ruca being in the final 3, and it made me mad. And then now all I hear about is Sol Ruca and Zarya and this and that, and well, everyone knows that you only got this title shot because of you sacrificed your friend, and everyone knows you're only popular because you're flipping around. Well, I don't flippy flop everywhere because I'm the best. I'm the most underrated woman in NXT and WWE today. But that's when she's interrupted. Sol Ruca comes out. She says, stop comparing yourself to other people. You can complain all about me, but don't you mention Zarya and my friendship. And JC says, yeah, well, I shouldn't mention your friendship because your friendship is over. And Sol says, yeah, well, you're one to talk. You should watch out because we all know what your friends are actually here for, if they even are your friends. And JC says, well, they are. So they all attack her. The 3-on-1 beatdown. But alas, out comes Zarya for the save? ? They hold Sol in position and they say, here you go. She's yours. So Zarya teases that she's about to spear her friend Sol, or ex-friend, but she doesn't. She spears Fallon. She takes out Fatal Influence and then throws JC to the outside onto the other 2 of them and then picks up Sol and they hug it out and they're still friends. So there you go. Never give up on your friends.
What I liked here is there's a line from Sol where she goes, Zarya's never been in my shadow. She's been she's her own shadow. And we do things separately, and we've had our opportunities. And she was kind of bigging up Zarya here, where you could just imagine Zarya watching this backstage and being like, fuck, yeah, I've been a dick. Like, she could have, after everything she just said to her, Soul could have been like, yeah, well, fuck her. I've forgotten about her and I'm after your title. And she didn't. And therefore, I can kind of see the logic in Zarya feeling that way and then being like, oh, man, I've been a bit of a prick here, and going to her friend's aid. I found it interesting as well that the way JC Jane's promo started, we've had this a couple of times now where she's kind of saying about how, you know, she hasn't really got her flowers, but she's been, you know, holding the women's division together, and the crowd actually giving her some respect. Like, she's saying all these things at the beginning, which are kind of true. You know, she's been achieving all these things, but she hasn't had the opportunity to do the Cena last show or go to the Rumble. Well, she was in the Rumble, I guess, and the crowd being like, oh yeah, you're right there. So I wonder if it's the crowd sense that her run's coming to an end, and maybe her NXT tenure is coming to an end, and they're like, actually, we recognize the work you've put in, and even though you're a heel, we kind of want to give it to you. Or if they're playing with the idea of maybe post this title reign, having her as a babyface, maybe. Like, do you go to the Fallon match with Fallon as the heel potentially, or what?
Yeah, I mean, we have this whole Zaruka thing, but real NXT people know we've been waiting for that JC Jane Fallon feud, which, I mean, you could go to at this point. The story is there of Fallon being like, yo, I'm sick and tired of being your second mate. I want to be the star, essentially. So I don't know. You could eventually go that route. I like when heels say I mean, we had Ricky kind of doing it earlier, breaking that fourth wall with like shitting on Joe Hendry, calling him a meme, essentially. I like when we do that in wrestling. So I would say the heels got it easy in wrestling because you can do this. It's way harder to book a baby face in wrestling. I totally understand that. But Soul winning, does this like ultimately lead to, because Soul kind of looks like a jerk, but then Zarya told her to go to hell. So it's like she's kind of a mean, and then they squash it. So someone's got it. There's got to be a turn. And you're saying JC is a babyface. Like, okay, maybe not eventually.
Not yet, but
yeah.
I think it's something they've never really played with at all in her 4 years in NXT. She's never played a babyface. So it's,
I mean, can you be a babyface while doing the JC Jane pose when you come out? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's pretty heelish to do that. Like,
what, wiggling your hips? Plenty of baby faces have wiggled their hips. I mean, yeah, I think is this next week or at Vengeance Day?
This is next week. So,
wow.
What if okay, like we just said, we think Vanity Project should win the titles next week, which like totally should happen because fuck Dark State. But what if Soul doesn't win because like something happens, and then you set up a triple threat at Vengeance Day, and somehow Zarya becomes champion?
Yeah, you could do that, like
by accident or something. I don't know.
I feel it's more likely going to be, you know, sort of the, you know, Randy Orton evolution stuff. Like, Soul eventually wins, Zarya celebrates, and then the jealousy just is too much, and she kills her. And then but that's got to be the stand and deliver match, right? And we've got Vengeance Day, Roadblock, and this title match next week. So it's, how do you pace it out until there? So you could, maybe you do go for a triple threat at one of them, or
like, what makes the most sense? Soul Ruka on the chase for stand and deliver with the heel champion, but like, is that JC Jane or is that Zarya? Is that like, I don't know how we get there.
It depends when you want to move Soul up as well. Like, do you want to move her up right after Mania? In which case, I wouldn't necessarily have her win. And I don't know, but not that it stopped them before just abandoning plans halfway through because of a call up.
Like how I felt similar with the Ricky thing. It's like JC like never is one of my favorites, but I think is a strong person to have here on NXT and WWE. So I really did find her promo interesting. Way more interesting than a lot of other promos we hear on this show. And it felt like in the same night, like, who wrote these promos today? Because in the same night, 2 heel promos that were just spitting knowledge. Like, they were pretty much kind of breaking that fourth wall a little bit. So I really liked that from both JC and Ricky on this show. But and that leads me to say, I'm looking forward to Soul and JC, which like that should be good. And
I think it would be good. Yeah.
It does make us have some questions. Will they go with Soul this early? Will JC like that's a good thing. So I think they did a good job of this storyline. The fact that every single week we will come on here and say, oh, they're teasing this Zarya and thing. Like, I guess that's what soap operas are. Like General Hospital, Dragon Ball Z, they'll drag that shit out for fucking months before something
Ross
happens.
and Rachel, 10 seasons.
Yeah, it's like they will drag shit out, the juice, the squeeze, right? So we shall see. So dare I say, I hope they have a really good match next week. I'm looking forward to it. We see Sean Legacy and Eli Knight backstage and Elio LeFleur, of course. How could I forget him? Legacy says that he heard what Carver had to say, but he's not backing down. And all three say that all these guys, they attack us because they underestimate us. And then Elio says to Eli, I'll see you out there in a second. May the best man win in the speed finals here tonight. And he goes, oh, I hope I do. So Elio LeFleur versus Eli Knight in the speed tournament finals. Right away, these two go at it here. And Eli hits a huge lariat, sending him inside out. There's a belly to belly into the turnbuckle. That was great. Oh no, my spell check has done me wrong here because the guy's name is Elio and the other guy's name is Eli. You can understand where maybe I don't know who hit who with what move, but there was some really cool stuff here in the short minutes, like suplex to the outside. There was a moonsault that was turned into a fake out, and then Eli hits a moonsault to the outside, and then they're going back in with like counter for counter of these pinfalls as the clock ticks to 1 minute left. There's super kicks. There's a sit out power bomb that Elio catches him in midair. That was pretty cool. And then there's a 450 which misses, and then there's a huge pop up knee. They're literally going back and forth when eventually the clock is ticking and Elio hits a top rope dragon suplex, but the clock runs out before he can even capitalize. And that's when Mr. Stone comes out. I swear I'm not making this up. Mr. Stone comes out and goes, wow, guys, that was awesome. A 3-minute match. You guys killed it. I really wish one of you won, but we need a match for next week in the speed match. So I have an idea for the first match ever. I swear I'm not making this up. Next week for the speed championship, for the first time ever, will be a triple threat speed match. And since there is 3 of you, the match is going to have a 7-minute time limit.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of thoughts here. To start with the promo backstage, just like these two are great in ring, but there's something about and it's not just WWE. It's across the board where these high flying young baby faces, it's so hard for them not to sound like dorks. I think Jet Speed, who are great, but they quite often sound like absolute dorks on AEW in their backstage interviews. And Nathan Fraser and Axiom sound like dorks. And I felt that with these two. There's a line, like, who says this? Like, together, we're going to slap the sky and take down the giants. Like, oh my God. So first there was that. The match, I thought, for the time they were given, which isn't much, really good. Like, some really cool stuff here. I was a little worried. Both hit these moonsaults to the floor, landing on their feet, which I just don't know how much your knees can take it. And Eli Knight was obviously selling it throughout the rest of the match, whether it was selling or whether he'd actually jarred his leg a bit, because it did look painful. But I liked, which we don't always see in these matches, I liked Knight especially kept on looking at the clock, kept on trying to see how much time he had left. So the match itself was great for a 3-minute match. What I found hilarious, though, was the bell hadn't even finished ringing, and Mr. Stone's out there being like, I've come up with this great idea in the 2 milliseconds I've had since this match ended, that we're going to fuck the rules and fuck Jasper Troy. We're having a triple threat. It's going to be 7 minutes and all that. I know you're on a time crunch. I know there's so much you've got to get through on the show, but letting it breathed for a second. You know, normally you get the crowd being like, okay, it's speed, so it's not going to be 5 more minutes, but 1 more minute or something. Normally you'd let something like that, but I just feel Stone was at the monitor going, I know this match is going the 3-minute draw. I just know it. I feel it. Ding, ding. Hello, I've got an idea. Like,
he was out there really quick.
Really quick. Sure, whatever. A 7-minute match, that's a regular NXT like match between these 3. Unfortunately, I see Jasper Troy retaining. I see it going to be a lot of these guys flying around and him swatting them and hitting a sidewalk slam. And that's going to be the match. But yeah, these 2 were impressive. And I think both of them in the few matches they've had on NXT so far have stood out.
I would agree. Like anytime we've seen this Elio LeFleur so far, okay, we're not big fans of the gear, but him and Eli Knight, like both the wrestling, again, they come from indie wrestling background where clearly they know what they're doing. And in 3 minutes had a better match than Jasper Troy could have in hours if he tried. Like, I don't think Jasper Troy will ever have a match as good as these 2 just had in a span of 3 minutes. What I just find hilarious is, and I'm going to make it 7 minutes, hoping to get a pop from the crowd of like, wow, this match has got a 7-minute time limit. I'm fucking done with this speed. This is ass. Like, the wrestlers here are great, but this is all around to make Jasper Troy look good next week. Why? So these guys can go out there and actually do something, and then he just wins? It's fucking bullshit. Like, this is just so stupid. I definitely I suspend my belief when I watch wrestling, of course, but bless his heart, Stone out there as soon as the bell rings to be like, I got this idea. 7 minutes. It's like, what? Where's the Heritage Cup? Bring that shit back. All right. Bring that shit back. I want rounds. I fucking love rounds. Bring them back. Whatever it takes. Like, I cannot stand this. It's just like the actual wrestling is pretty good. Eli Knight and Elio LeFleur, I liked them. They were good. There was some good stuff. But yeah, unfortunately, it's all to job out to Jasper next week. Speed title. Wow. Good stuff. There's more on the speed title, but the women's later tonight, I guess.
The other thing I was interested with, just before this match started, we had the 2K26 commercial, and like it's saying, play through the whole of CM Punk's career. And my eyes are rolling because obviously there's a bit of a gap there. But then they answered my eye roll because they said, and you can play what would have happened if he never left the company in the first place. So, filling that gap we're going to be going through on The Champ Is Here. And what would it be? Like feuding with the Shield and probably more Kane feuds and more Kane feuds.
Yeah.
Kane probably.
What would he have done in WWE if he stayed?
Yeah. More Ryback. I don't know. Who would the big matches?
He would have went to Saudi a whole lot earlier.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess, right?
But I am curious. Anyone who's got 2K26, let us know. What is the what if run of CM Punk in 2014 to 2023?
Seeing some of the commercials for it and seeing some of the like graphics and some photos and stuff like that, like it looks realistic and everything. But fuck 2K. I'm on that Virtual Pro 2, okay? You got to get on the Virtual Pro 2, Davey. You got to get that N64 emulator cooking, because once you play that, that's a real wrestling game. Right? Virtual Pro 2. Anyone out there? Love it so much. They have speed tournament in 2K?
Probably.
I could do it probably.
You can set a time limit for a match, can't you? Yeah.
We go backstage. Shiloh Hill, no Jason Mask on at this point. He's met by Miles Bourne, who's still upset from earlier. He says that I have to prove Ethan wrong. And he goes, oh, yeah, you will. You just got to do it. And he's like, no. And then they start to get in a bit of an argument here because Miles kind of brushes Shiloh off, saying, like, you're not winning tonight, essentially. And Shiloh's like, no, what if I win? And he's like, if you win?
I took it more as you can't win because I need to take this title from Ethan.
Right.
Like, I didn't necessarily take it as you're not capable of winning. Like, it led me to believe that Miles was actually going to help Ethan Page win the match just so he could have that match against him. We didn't go there. But yeah, I actually thought this week was maybe the most interesting Miles Bourne's been for a while, that he found a little bit of an edge and was a bit of a dick, because we've needed character development with him for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, completely agree. We see Uriah Connors backstage. He's talking to his mate, Charlie Dempsey. And I like how it's in our blood, man. It's in our blood. Come on, it's in our blood. That's what
we go way back. We were rolling around our dad's floors together.
He goes, look, it makes a lot of sense. Your dads, our dads were all friends.
Your dad is someone. My dad is someone.
We used to roll around in our dad's rings together as kids, and like, look at us now. And Charlie is like listening to him, but like, and then he walks off. But Uriah is like, I think I'm getting to him. When Lexus King, Stax, and Ariana walk in, and Ariana says, we're celebrating because she is the new TNA Knockouts champion.
Yeah.
Wow. So they're very excited. But then Uriah is like, oh, well, how did things work out for you, Stax? And I guess he lost his national title in TNA.
He lost to Trey Miguel.
Right. So Stax says, yeah, well, I may have lost, but I'm marrying into it, and says that my exotic queen, yes, Brampton, Mississauga, very exotic, says that she is a champion, and therefore I'm married into gold here in this group, as he is not from a second generation family, so he's literally married into this birthright group. He then says that we turned a bad night into a good night, and Ariana says, that's right, but next week, Uriah, it's time you prove yourself. And Lexus says that he got him a match next week, Uriah Connors versus his former friend, Kale Dixon. Oh my word. And Uriah looks like he's like, I'm gonna show him what I've been waiting.
There was something here that almost led me to believe that Uriah is going to lose next week and not be part of this group. Because, well, just the way they said, like, you need to prove it to be in this group by beating Kale Dixon. And then he goes, well, he hasn't had to prove himself, talking about Stax. And he's just like, well, I'm married. Like, I'm married into the group. So I don't know. It almost felt like they're maybe setting him up to fail. I'm not sure. But he got over his friendship with Kale Dixon very quickly, didn't he?
It's like Zarya.
He's like, I'm over that. Like, yeah, I'll face
Piss
him.
off. Go to hell.
But I'm actually kind of looking forward to that, because both those guys, in the short time they've had in matches, have impressed. And we haven't seen them in singles. So I'm kind of curious.
Like, technically, this is still Chase U lore that two members are now facing each other. So we have to see it through. Is Chase going to show up? Is he going to, like, mediate this?
Should be the ref.
Yeah. Is he going to be like, hey, guys, please don't do this. Stop. Maybe Uriah realizes he wants to be in a Nepo baby stable, but not with Lexus King. So then him, Charlie, and Brooks Jensen gets in a new Nepo baby second generation stable, and they leave Lexus King behind. That's where I want to go. Hey, where's David Finlay at? Where's
I mean, he said goodbye. I think he's got one more match, right? He's got the LA show, which I think is happening soon.
All I'm saying, I like Charlie Dempsey, and the one thing I think that's held him back in the last little while is maybe not seeing enough character. He's done like little bits like this where he's done stuff with Ren and stuff like that, but there's not been like an evolution.
He hasn't wrestled for a while.
Yeah, he hasn't necessarily like wrestled a whole lot either. And then Uriah, like, okay, they haven't necessarily told us like, hey, this is Finley's kid or whatever. They've definitely been talking about it more recently now, but like, I want to see these guys wrestle, and I think they could show some good stuff. So we'll see what happens with the Nepo baby stable, but I wouldn't be mad if if the people who start the stable shouldn't be in it.
Yeah.
I don't want Lexus King, Stax, or Ariana, really. Everyone else sounds great, but the people in my head that I'm putting.
Talking of the tag division and what you'd add, what iteration would you add here that could be a good tag team?
Fit Finley's kid and William Regal's kid as a tag.
Uriah and Charlie as a tag. Okay.
That sounds awesome. I've just told you, I'm playing my virtual pro, Finley and Regal. Come on. Those two have kids that are in WWE. Those guys should be A, fighting each other, or B, fighting together. So, yeah, book it. I would like to see Charlie do something more than what he's been doing in the past. So, if Lexus King is the Nick Fury to bring these guys together, then fucking so be it. As long as it leads to good stuff, I hope so. I don't know. I think I like Uriah Connors, even these little things. Yep. So I kind of want to see more. But also wouldn't mind if his brother showed up too. We go to our main event. Oh, not quite, because Mr. Stone is with Fallon, and he says that he's trying to find not even the NXT roster want to be involved in the speed tournaments.
Okay, this is hilarious. Think how quickly this man was able to solve this men's speed issue.
He was there before the bell rang.
When like Fallon won this title months ago, and he goes, "Look, I've been working on the women's speed tournament. I just need one more person in it." Now, these tournaments are 4-person tournaments. It's
a total of 6 minutes.
Yeah, it's 2 matches and then a final, and then they go on to face Fallon Henley. And he's like, "Oh, I've just been struggling. It's so difficult putting these matches together for the speed tournament." Quite funny. Literally, you need to find 3 minutes of TV time and 4 women. That's 6 minutes of TV time, 4 women. That's all you need.
I'm struggling. It's such a hard job. The last person left it in shambles. And I can't find literally 2 women who could actually give a fuck about the speed title, I guess, is basically what he said here. But this is when Blake Monroe walks in, and she says that she's wondering about Jada. And he says that you won't be fighting Jada anytime soon. She's out with a neck injury since last week. And she's like, "Oh, that's too bad. I was really looking forward." She's
suspended.
No, yeah, but didn't he say that she's got something with a neck injury? Who did why is he talking about?
I didn't hear that. I heard that he suspended her due to attacking the officials last week.
Oh, got you. Okay, then I don't know why I heard a neck injury or why I wrote that down, but basically says that you won't be facing Jada anytime soon. But then Blake kind of lingers around, and then he realizes, "Oh, wait, Blake, would you want to be in the speed tournament?" And she says, "The glamour is a perfect fit anywhere. So next week, sure. You could be in it. Blake versus Thea." And Blake is like, "Oh." And Stone says, "You guys have some history." Meaning, hey, remember when you didn't kick out? So that's going to happen again. Essentially. So
yeah, I could see Thea beating Blake next week.
Oh my God, no, not again. But I guess it's just speed. Sorry. So Jada, if Jada's suspended, then Jada should just come out and attack Blake, costing her this match, or like a walkout, or she runs away or something, therefore giving the it would be funny if somehow you did the like thing where the person the ref doesn't see, but the person like reaching out of the apron holds her down so that she can't kick out of the pin like she didn't the first time, that Thea wins again that way. But I guess that's reaching. But so speed tournament, if you loved the men's tournament, wait for the women's. Next week on NXT, we have the triple threat speed match. We have the tag team match, Dark State versus Vanity Project, Sol Ruka versus JC Jane, and Sean Legacy versus Keanu Carver. Dark State backstage before this main event. Lots of talking in this episode. They say they're very upset. No one threatens us. We are the threat. And say it together. When Dark State strike, ain't nobody safe. And probably a few bras and on site in there too, but they're not happy that Cutler James lost that quickly. So I wonder if they kick him out. Essentially,
yeah, I hope so. Kick them all out.
Yeah, no one should be in this group.
Yeah,
just dissolve. Yeah. So Ruka and Zarya, she's like, "Zarya, what changed your mind? You told me to go to hell." She's like, I realized we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have gotten this far if we didn't have each other. So I just thought it was the right thing, and our friendship is important to me. So I don't know. This sounded fishy to me. Kayfabe wise, Zarya saw that Sol Ruka has a title shot. Therefore, if I'm close to my enemies, what is the saying? Can't get fooled again. Something like that. Keep your enemies close,
Yeah.
but your friend's a little closer there. I think Zarya
It's coming. It's coming
I
soon.
think she has alternative means here, so we'll see about that. This is when Miles walks by and goes, "I know what I have to do," and they're like, "Oh, I guess he knows what he has to do." We go to our main event, North American Championship match. Ethan Page defending against Shiloh Hill. He does not come out wearing the Jason Voorhees mask on his face, and he does not come out with the machete. So no foreign objects in this. Ethan Page's entrance has the WWE 2K26 video because he's in the game representing
Didn't look good, did it? Like Ethan Page looked kind of weird.
It didn't look the best. Not from the Ricky Starks one I saw this week looked really good.
Some of them look really good. I think they need a bit of work on old ego right there.
Yeah. So Shiloh Hill, Ethan Page, this is one of many times they say on commentary that this is his 7th televised match. Just think, his 6th televised match was for the NXT title, and his 7th is for the NXT North American title.
Yeah.
Just remember that. He keeps shoving Ethan Page here. He keeps countering Ethan's attempts at anything and shoving him and kicking him. They keep exchanging different wrestling holds, but he keeps getting the better of Ethan yet again. This is when Page leaves and goes and grabs the North American title, but then Shiloh rolls out and grabs it and puts it back. He hits some sort of lunatic lariat thing for a near fall on the outside, rolls him back in. This is when Vanity Project come out and they're like, "We're just here to watch. We're just here to watch. We're just here to watch this match." Ethan Page takes Shiloh and then starts putting him in this headlock. And I think this was picture in picture because unfortunately the cameraman zooms in as Ethan Page is like, "Hey, Shiloh, this is what's going to happen in this match." And then the camera cuts to Vanity Project for a few minutes and you see Brad Bailey being like, "We're just watching." And then unfortunately cuts back to the same headlock. And Ethan Page is like, "All right, drop down clothesline." I'm just like, stop. I know this is picture in picture, but I could hear and see everything. So he does the drop down clothesline and then the drop kick. Eventually, Ego hits a code breaker for a 2 count. This is when Shiloh...
Confidence breaker.
Confidence breaker.
Yeah, I like that.
So he hits the confidence breaker on Shiloh, and then Shiloh's version of the hulking up is when he takes his tooth out. You know, Kurt puts the straps down, but Shiloh takes the tooth out. So he hulks up and hits a sidewalk slam. This is where Ricky Smokes gets involved. So Shiloh's throwing him out, and then he's attacking all of Vanity Project, who are on the side of Ethan here. And then eventually they reveal the concrete. They remove some of the padding and they tease something here, and it doesn't connect right away. And then,
it's the Ego's edge Ethan goes for, but it gets blocked.
So eventually they go back to the outside, and that is when Ethan hits the twisted grin to the concrete. I hope that tooth is okay. Does it hurt more if you have a giant gap there? The other teeth could be exposed to this concrete. It could be very dangerous. He hits the twisted grin, rolls him in the ring, hits a second twisted grin, twist of fate, and Ethan Page pins Shiloh Hill to retain the championship. I guess I'll go to the after match bit after this.
Yep.
Was there any thoughts on this match?
It's this guy's super new to it, and I think we do have to bear that in mind as well. I thought this week and the ladder match, he showed some stuff. I'm seeing more from this guy, and I know he's going to be polarizing. I know people are going to find him goofy and whatever, but at least I kind of know what his character is, and I think he's somewhat.
What's his character?
He's a freaky guy. He's a freaky guy who buys weird shit online and creeps people out, but seems to be a bit of a lovable creep.
What's his character? He's a freaky guy who buys stuff online, dude. That's terrible.
It's something. People know who he is. He's the weird guy with weird segments backstage. Yeah. What is Jasper Troy?
Couldn't tell you that.
Exactly. This guy's somewhat memorable. He hulks up by removing his teeth. He's got his gimmicks going, right? Which some people are going to latch onto. And I think he's showing personality, and he's somewhat hanging in the ring. I thought he had some good moments in the ladder match last week? And I thought you're against Ethan Page, who's one of the best there at helping these younger talents, like literally carrying some of these guys through matches. We've seen him do it over and over again. But I at least see potential with this guy, which I don't for a lot of the the LFG people. I think he's shown the most. I don't necessarily think he should be pushed to this level of 2 championship matches in a couple of weeks, but I think he's at least got some sort of charisma, and some of his like topes and his like weird like flipping senton thing for a big guy look pretty good as well. So I'm going to give him credit, especially that this is 7 matches. I think he's showing a lot more than some people, and a lot more personality than people that have been doing this a long time.
Like the easy compare is Jasper Troy, the LFG.
Yeah.
Thing, right. And like I would definitely take this guy over Jasper Troy from anything that we've seen, even the stupid weird shit. But like I'd say I don't like the character. I don't like the music and the wacky stuff. Oh, his character, he's freaky. Oh, he wears a dollar store Jason mask backstage and he thinks it's funny. It's like, man, this is scraping the leftover of whatever the bottom of the barrel is. But when it came to wrestling, like, yeah, okay, they hit it over the head about 20 times. Hey, seventh televised match. He doesn't not know how to wrestle if it's his 7th match. So I got to give him that credit for sure, but I still don't like it. I think it's something that shouldn't be in the main event 2 weeks in a row or whatever, but like he's someone who there could be something there. I don't like whatever this gimmick is. Don't ever wear a fucking dollar store Halloween mask ever again. Leave the knives at home, stay off the internet, buddy, and maybe just wrestle. And maybe you'll find something else you can connect, because everything else seems fake and manufactured. Like, oh look, I'm going to pull my tooth out now. It's like, dude, you hit a tope. You're looking good out there. Why are you doing this shit? Like, is that because people will remember that?
I'd argue, like it or hate it, people are remembering him more for those things than doing a tope, because everyone does a tope.
Right. Fair.
Like it's you remember, like if you were to say someone who barely tunes into NXT, Jasper Troy. Who's Jasper Troy? He's the speed champion. What's the speed championship? I think if you went, the guy who pulls his tooth out, oh, that goofy guy. Okay. Right. It's not always great, but sometimes just having something that's memorable. Like people still remember Al Snow for a fucking mannequin head, and that could be bottom of the barrel scraping shit. Yeah, it got over, and you watch the wrestlers on Netflix and everyone's like, oh, Al Snow, it's the guy with the head.
Wrestling legend.
People don't remember his moves. People don't remember matches, but they remember Al Snow and head, and I think sometimes maybe just being remembered for something. And if you're talented enough, you can break through that and you can become more than just that.
So then why is he wearing a fucking Jason mask? Like, where does that come from? Why is that connected to anything? He's wearing lumberjack shirt, doing bushwhacker poses to his theme song, trying to get the intro over of the say yeah. Or maybe not say yeah, that's someone else's song, but it's like you're literally throwing shit and teeth at the wall to see like what weird wacky shit. But
isn't this the show you should be doing that on though?
Like this guy's thing is he's wearing a Jason mask in his interview and then laughing like, oh, sorry, I didn't realize you were there. Like, fuck off. Like, that's stupid. It's so stupid. Like, I would rather him go back on the dark web and talk to me about Epstein's Island or whatever the fuck conspiracy theories than wear a Jason mask that is from Dollar Tree. Like, anything is better than that. Literally, I will take the internet shit. I will take the fucking whatever. But like, what? Oh, and he had the knife 2 weeks ago. And then Robert Stone's promos for this week's episode were like, oh, please don't bring the machete to work. It's like, come on, man. My fucking 2 years old. Like, this is stupid. This is so stupid. It breaks me. We've had gambling. We've had a fake university. But a guy who just, whatever this is, I'm like, oh, man. And I'd still take this over Jasper Troy. So, fuck. This guy is light years ahead of that guy. I'd say. Like, this guy can at least wrestle. So, there's something there. Like, I wouldn't write this guy off. So, it's just, fuck. Get your own mask at this point. I know it's NXT and the budgets and all that and the money and all that, but like,
I wouldn't be against that, having some sort of weird mask designed for him.
Yeah.
Like Mankind kind of style or something.
Sure. There you go. Absolutely. Yeah. That might be what
Mankind Abyss, like that kind of thing.
Sure.
Where
Yeah.
you can even have it as part of his character. Like you see him ordering this fucking thing online or whatever,
like,
you know? Like
it's literally not even like it's literally a dollar store. I've said that. It's because it looks like that. It's like, really? Like this is a TV show, dude. Like
remember, these guys don't get paid much at all, and they've got to buy their own gear. So
dollar stores are expensive for the NXT.
Listen to Jasmine Nix. Like it's like
yeah,
they ain't getting paid well.
Until Ava talks about it. I'm sure. Anyways, poor Shiloh Hill. His time will come one day. But after the match, Ethan Page and Vanity Project beat him up. And that's when Miles Bourne comes out. He saves Shiloh here. He sends Vanity Project to the outside, and then he grabs a chair and he puts Ethan's ankle in between the chair and says, I'm going to stomp on this on your foot with the chair if you don't give me my title shot. And Ethan says, no, I'm not giving you a title shot. He's like, well, I'm going to stomp on this. And he goes, no, I'm not going to do that. And he goes, okay. So he jumps. And while he's jumping, Ethan's like, okay, I'll give it to you. And Miles says, thank you. And then as he walks off, Ethan goes, I know you couldn't do it. So Miles walks back over, jumps up and stomps on the ankle and the chair of Ethan Page, and then holds up the North American title. And the crowd were really into this here in the PC. They were like, oh shit, he actually did that. And the refs are pulling him off of him, and the show ends with Miles holding up the North American title. And I believe this match is now added to next week. But what state will Ethan Page be in for this match?
So we got a bit of a title Tuesday next week, haven't we?
Yeah. Big title Tuesday, all the titles, even the speed titles.
Yeah, I like this. I think Miles needed something. They've been teasing this change of character, you know, Ethan Page trying to get it out of him, but Page trying to get it out of him against other people and then being used against him. I think we see a title change next week with this, because Ethan Page we didn't mention, he broke the most defenses of the North American title. I think it was Wes Lee's reign, right? Yes. He's just overtaken. So he's got that record now. Now he can drop it to Miles Bourne, who I think Miles could do with it. I think now you've got this character with a bit of an edge, and have him, you know, defending this regularly, hopefully can help him stay over a little bit, because he definitely dropped for a few weeks. But I thought this was a step in the right direction.
I do too. Like, it definitely, we were just assuming heel turn, but maybe just like a bit of a, I don't know, updated character change of just, he can still say the joke. We've had it like every time he talks is something like, oh, can you hear me? Or, oh, I didn't hear you, and stuff like that. And that's great if you sprinkle that in and stuff, but giving you more than just, oh, I'm that guy. You need a lot more. And I think this is a great step in the first like direction here, but him beating him, I guess he should, because he injured his leg also, but Ethan already agreed to the match, so it should be an official match. And I guess we're projecting a lot of title changes next week, if that's the case, and which it probably won't be that many, but I think that would be
I see case. This is the one most likely. I could see JC retaining, as you said, to maybe set up a triple threat or something, you know, Zarya accidentally cost Sol the title and something like that. And then, yeah, I changed the tag titles as well.
So if Ethan loses this, then it frees him up for back into the NXT title picture. And like, does he go into babyface? Does Ricky Saints, you know, get in there? Does Joe? I don't know.
You could, I mean, I could definitely see, you know, Vanity Project holding the tag titles, and now Ethan Page is titleless. So they can do a bit of the, like, you know, giving him advice as champions, and Ethan not taking it particularly the right way. But I want to see Ethan Page if he's not moving up, put him in the title picture, because he freshens that up a little bit, and he's the best guy there right now.
I can't see him moving up at least till after Mania. Like, I can't see anyone moving up. I don't think it's bringing people in now is a good time, unless look what they're doing with Javon. Right away, you're in the chamber. Like, right away, you're in big, prominent things, which is a good way to keep someone, like you said, strong and proper when you bring them in and showing people, there's new characters. But Ethan as a babyface would be weird at this point in NXT. And then you have Ricky. So this is weird. Like, what do we do with these two guys plus Joe Hendry? Because Stand and Deliver could be Ethan versus Ricky, but I don't know. Like, again, he would have to turn again. But next week, it was, as we said, we have a bunch of title matches. You're saying Miles beats Ethan.
Yeah.
JT retains.
Yeah.
Vanity Project win.
Yeah.
And the Speed title stays on Jasper Troy.
Yeah.
There you go. Title Tuesday next week on NXT. You know, NXT it's a bumpy road lately for sure. But Lola, Kelani opening the show, that put me in a good mood for at least like, hey, we got some wrestling. I like those two. I like the 4-way tag match. It was very chaotic. I think we've said it and beat it to death already, but Vanity Project is the breath of fresh air this show at least needed, of like dudes who can actually wrestle and have, you know, evil, shitty heel characters that I like. So there's some good stuff on the show, but there's still a mixture of like a whole lot of other stuff.
Yeah, I didn't mind this week. I thought there was some good wrestling and some progression. Like, as we've got a lot of matches set up for next week, which look interesting. I thought the promos were pretty good, the Zarya Soul stuff, and yeah, I didn't mind this week at all.
Well, there you go. That was NXT. We have some big matches next week. We have Vengeance Day. We have Stand and Deliver to look forward to eventually when they do announce that. So plenty to talk about in the next few weeks of NXT. I didn't see any feedback in the Facebook group, but I do see a super chat from the Windy City who earlier sent this in. And I think we skipped over. So I'll read it here. Hey, bros, how satisfied are you overall with things WWE are doing on Netflix 1 year in? Anything they can improve on? He says, I know the Raw Vault needs work. Is that the...
Yeah, I mean, I think absolutely the back catalog. I don't think there's necessarily a real effort to improve that, but for us and stuff we do, the back catalog would be very helpful. Apart from that, I mean, here in Canada, we get everything on there, Raw, SmackDown, NXT. So it's great. I don't need to be flicking channels. It's easy to watch. I can, if I'm caught at work late and I need to catch up on NXT as I'm walking home, I can watch on my phone. You know, it's like it's so much easier with things like that, which is awesome. I'd quite like if they didn't remove the stuff that happens in commercials. But I'd like, you know how when you watch a TV show and it gives you the intro and it gives you the option to skip it? I'd like them to include that, because sometimes I want to watch the kind of live interviews people are doing during commercial break, and other times I want to just whiz through it. So that's something, but that's a nitpick. Overall, like, I mean, we talk about the product weekly and our thoughts on how it's been, how it's not been, and I do think since the Netflix debut, it has got worse. But as a experience of just being able to use Netflix to watch it, I love it.
It's crazy of how much, like, before it was on okay, we've had it on Spike and TSN and Sportsnet over the last what feels like 5-10 years plus easily, but things have changed. So like people like me, like I don't have cable. I use all these different streaming things, and that's how a lot of people are too. Therefore, I'm hearing way more like, oh, I see WWE's on Netflix now. And like that is a big key difference in this era, this generation. A lot more people have Netflix, and that makes it the number one TV channel, if you will. Therefore, WWE is on the number one channel. Therefore, a lot more people are watching it, I think.
I know a lot of people who, you know, talk to me, find out what I do, and they're like, oh, I used to be interested in wrestling and blah, blah, blah. And now are like, oh, I've been watching it just because it's on Netflix. Yeah. I've been checking in. Someone who I used to work with just the other day messaged me like, is it Seth Rollins? Is he the Masked Man? I was like, dude, you were telling me for so long that you hadn't watched since like the Ultimate Warrior was wrestling. Like, why? Right. And now you're asking me if Seth Rollins is the Masked Man. So I think it has spread its net that way. And also the ease of us doing this show. I mean, we've had, you know, subscriptions to Sportsnet, and that's crapped out on us.
Yeah.
We've tried to watch wrestling, which sometimes was reliable, but we'd always be a little bit behind, or sometimes the quality would look like it's out of a potato, or like all these different things. And now it's just all on Netflix. It's easy.
Yeah, no, the one thing I miss from WWE Network is the timestamps.
Yes,
Because maybe I want to go and watch like WrestleMania 17 or something, and then
chapters and that kind of thing.
yeah, I have to
that
skim
helps a
through
lot.
a 4-hour show to get to like the main event, which could take 5 minutes in itself.
Yeah.
Doing it. So that is like a little tiny nitpicking. But thank you, Jake, as always. We do talk a lot about other wrestling. AE Dubs, they're definitely on fire lately, as of late, with the whole MJF with multiple rogues galleries of challengers. Hangman at Revolution. We just did our whole Grand Slam review on Sunday on our free feed, and go check that if you haven't already. Search Poisonrana Pod in your Insta, Twitter, Facebook, podcast app, YouTube, whatever you use. Search Poisonrana, give us a follow, and check out all the other shows that we got. We will be going live this Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. on our YouTubes as we talk about Dynamite tomorrow. Swerve versus Omega, first time ever. Definitely looking forward to that. Plus, we'll talk a bit more about Raw, SmackDown, the road to Elimination Chamber, some preview for that, and so much more in the news of wrestling and everything else. So check out all the other stuff that we do. We are your NXT friends, and we'll be back next Tuesday, but we talk about a whole lot of other stuff, as well as our Patreon. Champ is here, dropping tomorrow, plus movie reviews and so much more. But thank you to all the postmarks out there. We will be back very soon, very shortly. The wrestling never stops. Always follow postwrestling.com for everything else that we do. John Way and the rest of the team killing it as usual on the website, keeping you updated with all the wrestling news and media and everything. So appreciate the people out there. That is it. That is all. Take care. Goodbye and be safe.
Ahoy!